All right, we about to get started. Give me 2 minutes. I'm about to come back and give some shout outs before we get started. All right, family? State where you from, family. 1 second. Just want you to do me a favor and take this into close the door. Because it's going to make us be talking. All right, family. What's up? What's up? Kentucky. Shout out Connie. In Kentucky, Warner Robins, Georgia. Peace, Keisha. Hey, I'll be in Moncks Corner, Georgia on the 6th. That's like 2 days away. I'll be teaching on relationships. If you're available, come on out. It's at the Cool Lounge. I think it starts at like 6 o'clock. If you type in Queen Cat, you can get all the information, and I'll post it here too. New Orleans, Teresa, peace to you. Don't forget, guys, if you're familiar with my content, I want you to let the naysayers that come in here thinking that I'm being biased or swearing from my philosophy, that I am not. I'm being consistent. Rock Hill, South Carolina. What is up, Rosalind? You need to be in Moncks Corner coming up here soon on the 6th, man. All right. Nina says, okay, we waiting. Oh, you about to get it. You're about to get this work. Seattle, Washington, peace to you, peace to you. Okay, so let's see here. All right, family. So I'm doing this live today. No filter. Because people sway from the subject. They'll rather focus on if I have a filter or not. So this is my natural ugly face. Okay, family? All right, so we're going to get started on this thing, and we're going to have a great build today. All right? I'm going to warn you guys. Anybody saying anything disrespectful, I'm going to suspend you or even block you. Okay? So make sure if you're going to be disrespectful, it better hit, because it's going to be your first and last chance. Okay? And I'm not even going to respond to you. I'm just going to click block and you'll be gone. Okay? I need mature people and intellectuals for these subjects. Okay? I need everybody to try to stay on subject to the best of your ability. The problem with this whole saga has been when someone gives an opinion, many things get said about them. Okay? Lies, propaganda, insults, ad hominems, which are not about the subject at all. And it only highlights that you are not mature enough, lack the mental capacity to be able to form or articulate an actual opinion that can actually contest the one I just gave. That's all it shows. So I'm not going to respond to disrespect with disrespect as I did in the past. Frankly, the people who disrespect have shown their character to be one of those that you don't even have to worry about what they're saying. They're horrible people. And why would you care what they say? Most of them lie all the time, and they are crying wolf. And so to argue with someone who you know is crying wolf is just wasting your time. So let them talk, let them insult, and we're just going to keep on giving that logic the way it's supposed to be given. All right? Queen Cat, I just mentioned Moncks Corner at the Cool Lounge. Please put in there where they can get their ticket. Okay, love? Let's see here. It could be late. Okay, is it planned? Because I'm on here. I can't see no reason why it wouldn't. You can hear me? What is it saying? Let me see. Hang on. Hang on, guys. That's crazy. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. You guys can see me, right? On Facebook. I'm sure you guys can see me on Facebook, right? We're about to get started. You guys can see me on Facebook, correct? Because I'm streaming this to my YouTube, and it's just showing like I'm invisible, like I'm not standing here. You can hear me saying the things I'm saying right now, but it's just showing the TV. That's crazy. Okay, so Queen's Cat says she can see me. Still not showing me? That is, how, why? That's unbelievable. Something always going crazy on it. Bring me the computer. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna fix a technical difficulty really quickly. In fact, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and let this video start to build, because I'm gonna let it get on into it before I give my review, so she can talk for some. Okay. So no further ado, we're gonna go ahead and hit play and let this thing go. Okay. So if you haven't seen this, your genie powers. All right. So if you haven't seen this, family, this is an interview that I did over a year ago with Tasha K. Like I said, in this video, I say I'm 40 years old. I'm 42 now, so I know it was over a year. So maybe I was about to be 41, but this is some time ago. But people are looking at this interview as if, you know, it's recent. Let me see your phone for a second, too. Before I hit play, I want to give you guys some of the comments that's on her page. And this is why things like this are very needed, and why relationships are deteriorating all across the world. And it's because people have a severe lack of understanding when it comes to that. Where's your YouTube at? Never mind, I found it. Hang on. So here we go. Here's the interview. Some of the comments. Kevin doesn't like to listen because he's so busy trying to prove a point. He's not listening to anything Tasha K has to say. He's busy trying to form his response instead of listening. I want you guys to notice that that did not refute anything I said in that video, even if what they said were true. Okay. This is people who are looking around the issue instead of focusing on the issue. Okay. It's like someone watching a movie, and instead of recognizing the narrative, you're wondering what color shirt they have on. You're going to miss something. Okay. The next one. Kevin is so manipulative. Ain't no way I'm going to let a man keep over talking me on my podcast. Again, you're not talking about any of the points that I made, so you're going to miss them. So here's what I think is happening. There's a bunch of comments going, and what they like to do is they like to rush the comment section and say a bunch of negative things, so it can appear that nobody's really effing with what you're saying, right? But if you scroll down, you start seeing the comments saying he makes perfect sense. I agree with everything he said 100%, but these first few comments will throw you off. And so if you're not watching the video and instead you're looking for what you think people think about it, it may sway your judgment on the actual content overall. And you won't listen to see what you think of it. You'll read these comments to see what they think of it. And you will think that, hey, they must be right. It's called appeal to majority. If you think a lot of people think this is bad content or there's something wrong, you might be swayed. And a person who's easily manipulated, I need to let you guys know that is a character flaw. Okay. But anyway, he is exhausted. He talks too much. He's not even listening to understand. And he proved Tasha's points so many times. I want you guys to listen for these things as the video goes on. Okay. To Kev and Rob, women are not property. Okay. This dude is insane, just like his brother. This dude talked for 50 minutes nonstop. In one breath, he's trying to convince the people. I'm not stopping my dream for no one, a partner, a lover. Now, this right here is within the video. So that comment I appreciate. Okay. Husband or wife, significant other is supposed to support each other. Okay. That's actually someone who's speaking to the content in the video. All right. When you think you're always the teacher, you're never willing to be the student. Kevin talks at you, not to you. Again, you're just critiquing how I talk instead of the content that I'm saying. Okay. When you're doing that, you're going to fail to hear something that you could possibly hear that's needed instead of just judging the person that's talking, right? One person said, I can't find the comment right now, but one person said, if this man is straight, I'm going to be something silly. trying to assert that I'm not heterosexual, okay? And then the comments that followed up on that was like, I know, right? Because why is he in her business? Oh, okay, I get it. I'm gay because I'm in someone's business. I thought I had to like men. You understand? So anyway, it's just these comments over and over and over until you scroll all the way down and you see someone saying, hey, I agree with everything he's saying. He's 100% on point. And so that being said, try your best, guys, to stay within the context of what's being said. You understand? I have no idea why YouTube's not working. I think I'm just going to stop it and maybe upload it later. That is crazy. I don't get that. It's stressing me out just even looking at it, sitting like that. So let's just end that live. Guys, if you're on YouTube, come over to Kevin Wesley Be The Evolution so you can see this video. I tried to give it to you guys, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm not even going to stress myself with it. I want to totally focus on what I'm doing here, and we're going to get this build going, okay? Here's your phone, love. Hang on. See if I show up. If I don't, just hit end stream. All right, guys. I'm testing it one more time. If I don't show up on the screen over here, YouTube, can you see me on YouTube? I do see me on YouTube now, I believe. So you guys that's on YouTube, you're good now. But if you want to come over to Kevin Wesley Be The Evolution on Facebook, there I can see your comments better and I can respond to you. But I'm not going to be responding to YouTube. Likely not even going to be responding to a lot of comments in here. I'm going to stop for a moment and look at comments and get your thoughts. But mainly I'm going to be focused on my teaching here. Here you go. Back there because it's going to be talking. If you can hear me on YouTube, let me know if you can hear me. Jamie's going to be monitoring that. Let me know if you can hear that. Jamie, if anybody disrespectful on there calling me gay and all that weird shit, just delete them. Block them. First, suspend them, okay? People like to do ad hominems and call you something you're not because they don't like what you're saying, all right? Let's get into it, family. Let's start this video up. We're gonna get into it, all right? Peace, Kareem. Peace, everybody, family. Let's get into this.
We can agree to disagree on some things and come and hash it out like adults, because I was shocked with you being like you're very outspoken polygamist. Your wives are very very supportive. This is a unit. I see the kids online. Like I said, y'all dressed alike.
Right. Women get an upgrade in their status because of marriage. So a lot of times a man needs to know, does she love you, or is she looking for a promotion in status and community? Because it may have nothing at all to do with him. He could just be the conduit to her getting the status that she wants, to her going around saying, look at what I got. Look at what I got. Look at what he did for me. Woman is really, really beautiful. Okay? Mm-hmm. She gets accepted in life due to that beauty. So if she has negative characteristic traits, they often get looked over. To her, this means that she don't have to work on them. It's been acceptable in the world for a woman to come at a man. You're small. You were broke. And you were gay. So they try to destroy this man. Okay, so watch this. What you gonna say to a man to completely, utterly destroy him?
All right, so we have the Rise family in the wine cellar. Yes. Okay, welcome. I am not drinking wine because I am on a detox with my winos. Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna let you taste that. Is that okay? Yeah. She tastes okay. Let us know if the bottle is good. Let's see. I know, this is my favorite. I like it. You like it? All right, let's get it. All right, so I got water. Now, they're going to say I tricked y'all because she ain't drinking.
What I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward this past the introductions to get to the heart of the interview, but I want you guys to be aware of something. My wives were only brought there for aesthetics. This was not about our poly union at all. They do not speak on this topic, and I informed Tasha of that before I even went. So many people, instead of looking at the actual content that's being said, they're focused on my wives, how they're looking, where their heads are, why they're not talking, why I'm not allowing them to talk. And so, again, when I see how people are everywhere but where they're supposed to be, it indicates to me that they're not actually listening. They're not actually listening to what's being said. They're instead distracted with the small things. It's like you're in school and the teacher's trying to teach and you're wondering about that spot on her shirt, right? You see what I'm saying? It's like you're not going to learn because you're in here being small-minded, right? You got to actually be able to receive the information that's being said and stop doing all of that stuff that you're doing. You're everywhere but where you're supposed to be. And in life, if you do this, family, you're not going to learn as much as you should. And this is why people think because you're older, you should be wise. No, if you spent your life doing a lot of that, you didn't learn much at all. So you have to be accountable to the things around you. You have to have a level of awareness so you can retain a lot of information and learn from mistakes and navigate this world. But if you do not, you'll continue to make the same mistakes over and over because you fail to see the whole picture, because you're focused on these little things that are neither here nor there. Why didn't your wife speak? Why they looking over here? They look stupid. I would never be with a man. I'd never share a man. What are you know that's not the subject at hand, right? They're manipulated. You're way far from where we are. Even if all those things were true, that's not the topic, family. Let's continue. I'm going to fast forward some just to get past the introduction, family.
And things like that. And that was really the first time that I had heard of anything regarding the breakdown of the truths. Now, you guys are as I ended up recording the video with him. Now, I had gotten the information that I had gotten from Brianna LaTruth before he was even introduced. And so they had said that, she had been abused, and she kind of wants to do this rollout. She doesn't know any other, blogger, entertainer online that could kind of help spearhead this, thing that she wanted to do to kind of help boost her YouTube career and stuff like that. And she wants to expose her husband for all the narcissism and abuse that went on and things like that. And that was really the first time that I had heard of anything regarding the breakdown of the truths. Now, you guys are pretty close.
Now, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My goal here is to speak about this situation as if I do not know these people, okay? This will help me to not be biased, and maybe it'll help you guys to understand that I'm not being biased. But what Tasha K is opening up with is she herself believes that this woman was trying to destroy this man to build her own platform. This is what she is saying right now on this interview. Now, if she's starting off by saying this woman is trying to lie on this man, trying to ruin his name, his reputation, destroy his character, all in an attempt to build her own social medias, her own brand. This is what she is saying now. This is not me saying that. Tasha K is saying that this woman is doing this to this man, okay? Now, in the same breath, she says, why not reconcile? And this is what I thought, this is the only disagreement I thought we would have. Instead, she pushed back on many things and gave her even her own opinion of my brother when I know my brother. I didn't want her to give her opinion on my brother. So she'll eventually say he only loved her for her looks and her sex. I think that's unfair for her to say because she doesn't know my brother. She's only speculating. She's on the outside looking in. So many people look at this video and say, Kevin, why are you so invested? Right? Why do you care, Kevin? Now, I think that's funny. That's a good question. However, it's funny coming from someone who's also invested, who has made more videos than I have on this subject, who still hasn't walked away from this subject, and they don't even know these people. However, they're curious about my interest on this subject when it's actually my blood brother. I can see why a brother would be concerned. A true sister would be concerned. A family member would be concerned. Even if I didn't like them speaking on it, I could still understand why they are invested in this situation. However, I cannot understand how someone who does not know any of these people will question the siblings on why they're invested when they're invested and they're not even a sibling. They don't even know these people. So I've seen a person reiterate over and over, I only got into this saga because I saw a black woman being drugged. I saw a black woman being attacked. I saw a black woman being criticized. And she believes that that should be commended. Thanks to you for praising, for protecting this black woman. But I saw my black brother being ran through the mud, drugged, criticized, tore down. But I don't have a right to speak on it. Just think about how crazy that sounds. So my question to anyone who's saying, Kevin, why are you so invested? My question is right back at you. Why are you? You're not her sister. You're not his brother. You're not involved at all. Now, I can understand people being genuinely interested in this topic. It's online. You can't tell anybody why are they invested. Now, there's a certain degree of investment that kind of looks bizarre when you're emotionally tied to a situation and you don't know these people. Okay? So I'm not judging anyone for being interested in this topic when it was placed on social media, right? But I'm kind of wondering why in the world a person would be concerned on why I'm invested when they're not even kin to these people. Now, during this thing, people say, you act like you lived in their house. Well, there are other content creators who come forth on their platforms and give all these different stories that we've never heard before. And it could sound like they've been in the house, right? Now, I would say that I've given less insight on their relationship than even these people, right? But this person can't realize, you know, you sound like you lived in the house, right? You know, you sound like you were a fly on the wall. But they're saying, Kevin, you sound like you was a fly on the wall. No, I sound like I've counseled these people. I sound like I'm related to these people. Watch this, family. If anybody knows more about my relationship, my marriage than any person on this planet, it is my brother. You know why? He's the closest person to me. I grew up right beside him. I don't know life without him. So if I'm going to talk to anyone about anything personal like that, it's likely going to be my own brother. So if there's anybody in this world who knows more about his relationship than any other person via through him, I mean, it'd have to be me, right? His brother, who counseled both of them, they both would call me on issues. Do you understand, family? So I think that's bizarre that someone can get up here and say, give their side to a story. That didn't happen. Here's what actually happened. And they're only saying this because someone told them. However, if I'm saying something because my brother told me, I'm out of pocket. Makes no sense, right? So you think they sit down somewhere, especially if they're complaining that I'm talking from my brother's perspective, because they're talking from someone else's perspective, right? So again, let's get back to going. We're going to break this situation down and what I think of it. If you guys think I shouldn't speak on it, that's on you. And again, you're not focused on the topic at hand. Let's get to it.
Your families are close. Okay. So that was interesting to me when I heard that, because once we of course I declined to do what Brianna and her team wanted me to do, because that's kind of like asking me to compromise my integrity to help boost your ratings. And I kind of felt like they kind of knew that I had picked up on what they were trying to do in regards to helping to brand her and spearhead her and build her, I guess, a price.
Are you guys listening? Are you guys listening? She said she was being asked to do things that she felt like would compromise her own brand and character if she was to go along with this. And she eventually saw through what they was doing. This is what she's saying. I'm not saying this. So you guys are saying Tasha K disagrees with Kevin. Tasha K is telling Kevin that she was attempting to ruin him based on lies. Let's continue.
It's on YouTube because she was lacking on YouTube. She's really big on Facebook, but not YouTube. And so when I started doing some research, and I was like, yeah, she's really had this in the making as far as like her trying to brand this YouTube channel. This was going on months before the allegations had came into play. And so
Tasha's saying that this has been going on months before the allegations came into play. Now listen, remove my brother, remove his ex from this situation. We're just talking about a man and woman here, okay? Tasha K is saying the woman that's accusing the man of abuse has been planning this for months before she actually said it, in an attempt to destroy his character, to build her own brand, and it's not substantiated in anything factual, is what Tasha K is saying. I don't care who it's about. It's just about a man and a woman at this point, because this happens everywhere all the time. Let's go. I'm removed emotionally. I'm not even tripping. This happened 2 years ago. I don't cry over spilled milk. I refuse to go back in time and be mad about something. You understand? So I'm just merely giving you guys my thoughts on this subject from a non-biased perspective, okay? Let's go.
Well, I guess social media had got word of her reaching out to me, and I didn't know it was as big as it was online. Everybody was like, wait a minute, Brianna faked this? And then Mr. LaTrue dropped his video of her basically crying and making a fake police phone call. You know, I'm gonna play all that for people who don't, you know.
Now, here's the thing. Tasha said, I'm gonna play all that for people who are not familiar, but she didn't. So it would have been great right here to pause and cut to what she called a fake 911 call. I didn't say this. Tasha K said it was a fake 911 call in which where he did not have a gun. She was not really crying. Now, we're just talking about two people here. Two people. Maybe if she had played that video right here, people would see, I see why this brother is upset. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Right. A fake police phone call saying that he had a gun and, you know, he was beating on her and all that stuff and following her and wouldn't leave her alone and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that's what prompted me to, well, he reached out to me. Mr. LaTrue reached out to me and I was like, you know, we definitely need to talk and we got him here. And so without doing extensive research on the family, I kind of,
why did he reach out to her, family? Who's familiar with this story? Why did this man reach out to Tasha K? Was it because he just said, I think Tasha K has a big platform and I can use her platform to publicize myself and my situation, right? Or did he see Tasha K discussing this issue, saying that she had been contacted by the wife and she had deemed this wife a liar, manipulative, and trying to use her to destroy her husband? Did he see that, or did he just think to use Tasha K? One of these parties just thought to use Tasha K and call her. The other one called Tasha K after Tasha K made a video really going in on this person, right? Do you get this? Let's continue.
Just used a very, I wouldn't say brazen approach, but, you know, based on her lying direct, like it was on camera and gave a very different narrative on what happened and the abuse that led up to it. I instantly took his side. It was a very biased perspective during our first initial interview. Sure. And so once I watched it back, and then I started to go back and kind of delve into some things about what Brianna was saying. I was just like, I think I kind of approached this wrong, you know, because although he may not have been physically abusive. Now
hang on. What Tasha K just said, if you're listening instead of worrying about if I want to fuck somebody, you guys are very small-minded. I have two beautiful wives who I love very much. I've never been interested in that woman, nor would I ever be. Even if he never met her, I wouldn't be. Not my type, okay? I like a certain type of character, a certain type of presentation, a certain type of spirit, okay? So just because you guys think someone is attractive doesn't mean I want to be with them. And just because I'm speaking on a situation doesn't mean I want to be with them. But I want you to understand that exposes your small mind, that you still can't articulate any real rebuttals to what I'm saying. You rather just assert that I want to screw somebody. How many times are people saying my name on this internet, right? Do that mean they want to fuck me? I've never seen you guys tell the other side, y'all must want to fuck Robert and Kevin. Because you keep talking about them, right? But if I speak on this situation, I want to fuck somebody, right? Anyway, let's stick to the point, okay? That'll be the last time you guys get my attention, okay? I just like pointing out how idiotic you guys are. But anyway, Tasha K is saying, in the beginning, she was biased, okay? She was biased to the fact because she was thinking this woman's trying to destroy him. So she just kind of went in and, you know, went right at her without, you know, considering that there may be some underlying things that she's going through. I understand that. She said, just because he didn't physically abuse her doesn't mean he didn't do some things wrong. Now, here's my argument to that. If he did not physically abuse her, it's nobody's business what went on in that house. Because we're only concerned if he abused her or not. Every relationship goes through faults. Every relationship. There's no relationship that's perfect. You understand? So if you've been victimized by somebody, for instance, if a man abused a woman physically, if he actually abused her, it wouldn't be relevant what she did wrong in the relationship because nothing would give him the right to do that. Do you understand? But we'll get into that. Let's continue. Tasha K is saying now that it wasn't just abuse. Let's go back some. Just listen to this. It wasn't physical abuse, but she was looking for other faults that he may have been presenting, right?
For narrative on what happened and the abuse that led up to it, I instantly took his side. It was a very biased perspective during our first initial interview.
Sure.
And so once I watched it back, and then I started to go back and kind of delve into some things about what Brianna was saying. I was just like, I think I kind of approached this wrong, you know? Because although he may not have been physically abusive, you can still be mentally and emotionally abusive. And that can come in many different forms, right? And that's where our life, that's when I was in the airport and I was like, hold up, I think I got this wrong. And I think both are wrong on both sides. I think that
End of story. Both are wrong on both sides when it comes to verbal, mental, emotional abuse. Both are wrong on both sides. Okay? There is no financial abuse, even though she can say she took care of him in the latter part of the relationship because she's also confirmed that he paid the bills in the former part of the relationship. Does this make sense? So if a woman gets with a man and that woman is fortunate enough to be successful, he's not. If she helped to build this man up and now he becomes financially successful and so he takes over on paying the bills, what would be wrong with that? Nothing, right? Because he still would say, if it weren't for you, babe, I wouldn't even be in this situation. None of this is a reason to poke at anybody. That makes a beautiful relationship. The first thing I did with my wives was help them establish their social medias, help them establish their gardens. Even though I'm the one contributing to paying the bills, I wanted them to also have income. So they can both say, if it wasn't for Kevin, I wouldn't be where I am on social media making the money I make. There's nothing wrong with that. And if we were to ever break up, me trying to rub that in her face would be ridiculous. Them trying to say, you never did nothing for me. It would be ridiculous, right? Because couples are supposed to build each other. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, right? So if I help my wife plant a garden and that garden is successful, we got a full harvest. Now I get injured, so I can't go out and hunt anymore. So we have to depend on her garden. Should she now be selfish and say, I don't want you eating out of my garden? Wait a second, time out. I helped you build this garden, love. You telling me that it ain't for the family, it's just for you? What kind of marriage is that? Now, for those of you who've never been married, for those of you who's been married multiple times and this still hasn't clicked yet, this is potentially why you're failing in your marriages, because you can't understand that you're a team. And his money is y'all's money and her money is y'all's money. You should not be in any union where you're saying, this is my money and then your money is my money. That's ridiculous. So if I help my wives plant a garden and then I can't hunt for some reason, this month I didn't catch any food, I should be able to go to them and say, hey, we're going to have to eat all veggies this month. I'm going to need y'all to make sure that we're covered. If they go, well, no, I don't want to do that. Yo, you in a horrible ass relationship in which where you cannot depend on your person when you're down. That's crazy. If my wife built me up and all of a sudden she fell off and she come back to me saying, hey, I'm going to need your help, I wish the fuck I would tell her no or complain about it. That's ridiculous. Let's continue.
He's contributed to a lot of things that led to the breakdown of his marriage and vice versa, right? But I also know what it's like to live and be around narcissists, okay? Because narcissists can inadvertently drive people to attention seek. And I think that's what Brianna is doing, is by any means necessary, please hear me because I have not been heard my entire marriage. And that's how I approached that conversation. Then I come across your live. And you were like, you know, you appreciated me reaching out. And, but then you was just like, well, you were very taken aback by.
Now, before she moves on to this next subject, I'm going to say this. She said that when you're in a narcissistic relationship, I hate that she said narcissistic there because this word is thrown around. What I should have just said is, what does narcissist mean to you? Because most people who throw this word around doesn't even know what it means, family. Doesn't even know what it means. So you got to think about that too when you start saying somebody's calling people names, and they seem to be really headstrong about calling someone this name. Narcissist, family, it means a person who has an excessive interest or admiration of themselves. A person who believes the world revolves around them. Based on that definition, many of us are narcissists. Just that definition alone would make most people a narcissist. They believe the world revolves around them. Let's say you believe that you are a child of God. Okay, the world's made for you. God loves you so much. That could indicate that you're narcissistic, right? A person who has an excessive interest or admiration of themselves. Let's just say I think I'm talented. Let's just say I think I'm great in some way. Let's just say I'm not religious at all. And I think that the world, everyone is just a reflection of myself, and I'm here to learn and grow. And really the world is about me and my development as a soul. That could kind of fall under this description right here. So when you say narcissist, this doesn't sound like a very bad person at all, right? So we're talking about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, where we're talking about behaviors that are toxic for a relationship. So in my opinion, I don't think we should be throwing this word around. I think we should just say, I'm in a troubled relationship. We're having trouble communicating. I think once you start calling your spouse a narcissist and start calling him a manipulator, a misogynist, a misandrist, all these different things, you're doing too much, okay? When you could just talk about the issues that's happening, okay? So each person should protect their spouse, and I don't think you should go around name calling, trying to define someone. So she says, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, really, I think she means if you're in a toxic relationship, it can drive a person to seek validation, seek attention, which is what she's saying the lady is likely doing here, right? And yes, that can actually happen. But here's what I'm going to say to that, family. As I look at your text message, I'm going to say this. In any relationship, family, it's natural to have faults, shortcomings, and areas where both partners might have contributed challenges within the marriage. However, when a relationship ends in a particularly destructive and malicious manner, where one partner is subjected to false accusations, public humiliation, slander, the focus should shift from questioning their faults to addressing the gravity of the misconduct and the injustice done to them. Now, that's going to go over many of y'all heads, and you're going to say, he's not making sense. But just rewind it and slow it down, and you'll find that what I said was something you could actually take home, okay? Now, here's my argument for why questioning a husband's faults are absolutely irrelevant when it comes to him being terrorized online. 1, false accusations and character assassination. When a wife goes online, or a husband, to insult their spouse, their vagina, they penicize, falsely accuse them of abuse, speak negatively about his parents, his siblings, criticizing him, his parents, and his own parenting publicly, and even accusing him of hiring a hitman. These actions are not simply expressions of dissatisfaction within the relationship, right? They are deliberate attempts to destroy his reputation and character in such a situation. The severity of these actions overshadows any ordinary marital faults that may have existed. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? This is regardless of who we're talking about. You can have nuanced issues. Some person could not respond well to your pain. They may not show empathy. They may actually be mistreating you in a relationship. They may actually be doing these things. The moment you take that online and make it a public issue, which is something that's permanent for your children, parents, loved ones, peers to see forever, the thing you just did overshadows all the problems in your personal relationship. You know why? You should have got a damn counselor. Why are you telling the public about this? You're destroying their reputation and your own relationship. You're deteriorating how your relationship is accepted in the public. Marriage should be sacred. You're right, Keena. And once you take this online, let's just say I'm with Jamie or Lacey. Let's say we argue all the time. Let's say we're very abusive. We call each other names. We scream at each other. We cuss each other out. Let's say this is true. The moment I take this online and say, this is what my wives are doing to me, I have violated our sacred unity. I have placed it in the public eye and set us up for ridicule and judgment that may never go away. And they have every right to say, even though I'm guilty of the things you said, I'm not going back into it because I can't trust you. You took what we were going through to the internet, man. That don't help. It makes it worse. Now anybody can form any opinion about you and your union forever. Now your children are going to grow up and forever see this. So asking this person what you did wrong is ridiculous. Because even if they were wrong, that person has violated by taking it to social media. So you should ask yourself before you jump online, why am I doing this? What am I looking to happen from this? This could destroy my whole union and we never be able to build back from this. So should I just go get a counselor? Should I just leave the relationship or should I go out here and do this? Does this make sense? Public and permanent damage, the nature of these attacks, particularly when they are made online, means that the damage is not only public, but it's also permanent, guys. Once these false accusations and insults are out in the public domain, they cannot be fully retracted or erased. The husband's reputation or the wife's reputations, their personal relationships, and even his relationship with his children or her relationship with the children can be irreparably harmed. Does that make sense? It enters the domain of intentional and malicious harm, which should make you second guess going back to this person. Now, here's the irrelevance of marital shortcomings when someone takes it online or abuses someone. In the context of such extreme actions, asking what the husband or wife did wrong in a situation where they're being abused is irrelevant because it suggests a false equivalent. Maybe I'm talking over your head because you're going to say, he sound dumb, he sounds stupid. What he just said made no sense, but that's a you problem, family. Just because you can't understand what I'm saying doesn't mean it can't be understood. Okay? That's a you problem if you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm not speaking a different language here. And I mean every word that I'm saying, so don't call me a manipulator because a manipulator will not say what they mean in an attempt to change your mind. I'm saying exactly how I feel. I stake my brand on it. I stake my life as a counselor on this. If I'm wrong, don't ever come to me for any counseling because this is exactly what I'm going to tell you if you come to me with this shit, with this type of shit right here. It wouldn't change for anybody. So in the context of such extreme actions, asking what the husband or wife did wrong is irrelevant because it suggests a false equivalence. Even if the husband or wife actually had shortcomings or made these exact mistakes that you're complaining about in the marriage, these do not justify or excuse the person's behavior for bringing it public. This situation became not about marital faults or common marital struggles. It became about abuse. This is about one party engaging in severe, unjustifiable misconduct. Just as it would be wrong to question what the woman did wrong if she were abused or slandered, it's equally wrong to shift the focus to the husband's fault in this case. So what should happen is you should focus on the accountability and justice. The primary concern in such a situation should be holding the party who engaged in these destructive actions accountable. So if the husband came forth and said, my wife hits me, my wife does these things to me, if this isn't true, this person needs to be held accountable for bringing this lie to the internet. You don't ask the wife, what did you do wrong for him to come and say this though? I mean, I'm sure you did something wrong, right? I mean, you probably did something to make him seek validation, right? He probably lived with a toxic person and that caused her to seek validation. So you did something wrong, admit it. No, you hold the person accountable. You don't go and lie on your partner. If you have to lie, it's something wrong. It's something wrong if you have to lie. It points out that you're being malicious, that your intent is to destroy this person. You can have your view of a thing, your truth. So something can happen where you feel a certain way. A person might talk to you a certain way. You might feel like they're disrespecting you. They may not intend to. So if you say they disrespected me, that's something that we can understand. But if you say someone hit you and they didn't, man, we can't get with that. Come on now. And these people had opportunities to explain their side of it. And when she explained her side of it, we could clearly see this was not an instant where you were being abused. Let's be real. And this is if it were anybody, family. Okay? Now, watch this. The primary concern in such a situation should be holding the party who engage in these destructive actions accountable. The focus should be on seeking justice for the wrong actions committed, rather than diverting attention to the husband or wife's faults. When someone has falsely accused and publicly humiliated someone, the issue at hand is not what they have done wrong in the marriage, but rather the severe and unjust treatment they just received. The dangerous precedent of victim shaming or victim blaming. Once the husband's faults in this scenario risks falling into the trap of victim blaming by suggesting that his shortcomings might somehow justify or explain his wife's actions, it shifts the blame from the perpetrator to the victim. This is a dangerous precedent that undermines the seriousness of the wrongdoings and can discourage others from coming forward when they are wrong in similar ways. Does this make sense? In a marriage that ends with one partner engaging in extreme malicious actions such as false accusations, public humiliation, and slander, the focus should not be on the other person's faults or shortcomings. While every relationship has its struggles, no doubt, and both parties may have areas where they fell short, these normal challenges do not justify or excuse the severe and damaging actions taken by the other party. Does this make sense? Just as it would be inappropriate to question a woman's fault if she was falsely accused, insulted, or abused. If you notice, he never got on here and said, that woman was actually abusing me. It's her daddy who ain't shit, not mine. It's her coochie that's trash, not my penis is small. You never saw this. So it's one person abusing another after the relationship was over. We ain't talking about what happened in the relationship. We're watching one person go live, seeming daily, to call this man PJ, to criticize the weight he lost, calling him 50 Cent on his deathbed, say his dick small, say he ain't got no money, talk shit about his music. You ain't never gonna be shit. You mad because of this and I ain't that? You mad because it's popping and it's not? You mad? We're not seeing him do this. So one person is abusing the other after they're not in the house anymore. Now you can understand the arguments they had. They're both cussing each other out, but they're in the same house, closed up in an argument. It happens. But now he's outside the home. He's nowhere around her. But somehow she's got this phone in front of her going in on him. You can't say he provoked that. He's not even in the same room with her. So you guys are witnessing abuse on one side, not the other. And you're still wondering what he did wrong in the relationship? They both did wrong in the relationship. Everybody's going to have shortcomings. Everybody has room to grow. People are going to do wrong even without intending it. I may say something that hurt my wife's feelings, not on purpose. That's a wrong. I have to understand how they feel and correct that issue. But if they take that online, they're way more wrong than I was. The focus should remain on the gravity of the wrong things committed against him, the need for accountability, and the importance of protecting his rights and the reputation. Does this make sense? Now, with that being said, we're going to move on.
Me asking for the reconciliation of the family. And I thought that was kind of hypocritical of you because, you know, you have a big family, right? And I'm sure you guys have, you know, I've been married 18 years, right? We have conflicts, right? And they're not as extreme as some other conflicts or couples go through, right? Right. But we still have conflicts.
She said, we have issues in relationship. However, mine are not as extreme as the ones I've seen. And what I said was, you just hit the nail on the head because you're asking me why I disagree with you saying they should reconcile. It's because their issues were far too extreme to reconcile. Does this make sense? Guys, I'm going to ask you guys a logical question. If it's true what she said about my brother, if he in fact hit her, pushed her down the steps, drug her, choked her, all these different things, shouldn't she not go back to him? Let's be real. If he's guilty of the things she said, she should in fact avoid him at all costs, right? because he would be abusive, physically abusive. And so if you say, hey, go back for the kid's sake, that would be bad advice. Some situations are even worse for the children than leaving and them growing up in a single parent home. Yeah, that's a broken home. But that home is shattered when both of y'all in that motherfucker arguing and cussing each other out and hitting each other. Because your children are going to learn that that's how you talk to each other. That's how you respond to grievances. That's how you react when someone hurts you. And you're going to destroy your children overall. In those situations, it's better to separate totally. And the children would just have to go through a broken home. And co-parenting is actually better than living together if y'all are fighting. Does this make sense? So my question to you guys, if what she was saying about this man were true, wouldn't it be in her best interest to move on from this man and no longer go back to him at all? Does this make any sense? I'm not talking about anyone. This situation, I was talking about someone. Right now, I'm talking about relationships as a whole. I refuse to go back into their specific situation with the blame game or criticisms or anything like that. I'm only speaking to the facts that's been said. No judgment for either one of them. Both of them were going through a divorce, family. Both of them were going through a divorce. It hurts. The worst may come out of you. But we have to talk about the things that's been presented online. So to sit here and try and discourage me from speaking on it when you guys encourage others to speak on it is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not going to work. You're wasting your time with those comments. Let's continue.
Please, but to add a third in there, I was just like, well, if anybody knows the importance of reconciliation of a family and how important it is to keep the family together by any means necessary, that's where I was coming from. And so I was like, well, maybe we can agree to disagree on some things and come and hash it out like adults, because I was shocked with you being like you're very outspoken polygamous. Your wives are very very supportive. This is a unit. I see the kids online. Like I said, y'all dressed alike.
Right. Notice she's saying that's hypocritical for me to say because I have a healthy family, harmonic family union. That's not hypocritical, love. If you were saying it's hypocritical, Kevin, because you went through similar things and you went back home to your family. So how could you tell some other person or advise some other people to move on? Well, because if I were going through that type of situation, which is what I say here, we wouldn't get back together. So it should be understood on why I disagree, right? But here's my long drawn out talking. If you don't like me talking, go somewhere and come back in about 2 minutes, okay? Reconciliation in relationships, particularly when there's been deep emotional or physical harm, is a complex and delicate situation. While some argue that staying together for the sake of the children is the best course of action, there are situations where reconciliation can actually be more damaging to both of the individuals involved and even the children. So, argument against reconciliation for the man or husband. Here's my argument. When a man has been publicly lied on concerning abuse, criticized for his parenting, where his children can see this, insulted about his penis size or how he performs in the bed, or has had his family, parents, siblings drug into this conflict. These are not minor issues. They are severe breaches of trust and respect that can fundamentally undermine the relationship. And when I say parents and siblings that has been dragged into the conflict, if you guys remember, the ex's first initial thing said his mama wasn't there, his daddy wasn't shit. You can understand how his daddy's children might feel some type of way about this and want to speak on that, right? When you say you talked about your sister on public, you said she had this, you said this was wrong with her, you said this was wrong with her. When you go and tell his brother, your brother said this about you, your brother said that about you, you are dragging us into this conflict. If my brother, in fact, said any of those things, it was supposed to be private between him and the person who's protecting him, not brought to the forefront. That is humiliating. It's abuse. Because what a husband and wife talk about is supposed to be on lockdown. If they have any issues with their siblings, any opinions of their siblings, and they're sharing them with you, it's supposed to stop there. So even if y'all fall out, you telling what that person said is wrong. That has anybody saw the man get up here and say, well, if I said it about my brother or sister, here's what you said about yours then. Remember the time you told me your brother or sister did this? Remember the time you said this about your brother and sister or your mama and daddy? He's never responded back to these things. It was her who was doing that, family. Now, was she hurt? Yeah. This is 2 years from then. I'm not judging her, but I'm only getting you guys to understand the facts around this situation now. You guys keep asking, why are they invested? Because you brought our family into it. You brought us into it. Listen, if she left that house and got online and said he beat her, if her brothers, her sister got involved, you could understand why. It's their sister that's being beat on. So if we believe our brother is innocent, likewise, that's him being beat on. We have every right to speak on that. Now, we can't say for sure what it was, but we can speak to the character that we know of our brother. No, we didn't live with him, and neither did y'all. So y'all got an opinion, right? Who holds more weight? The one who knew these people or y'all? Let's be real, man. It's irreparable damage to trust. And trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Publicly lying about a partner's behavior, especially on sensitive issues like abuse, is a profound betrayal. Even if the lies are later disproven, the damage to trust may be too great to repair. So even if she says, I'm sorry, I actually lied on you, it still wouldn't guarantee reconciliation. If me and Jamie or Lacey broke up and I said they were hoes, they was cheating on me, if it's determined that it's not true by me saying, yeah, I was lying on them, I was just mad, yo, they have every right to say, I'm still not going to be with you. Look at what you did to me. Now people are going to say, well, he just lying to cover it up. They really did do those things, but you know how people do. They will protect their abusers. And these speculative things will be going on about their relationship for the duration of their relationship. Your relationship is supposed to hold some type of class, some type of standard, family. You're supposed to protect each other. That wasn't happening when that happened. She was destroying him, man. And you guys are not trying to understand that. You're only trying to say, well, how did he deserve it? He must have did something wrong. Come on now. These things could cause erosion of self-worth. You understand? So let me say this. Living with someone who has publicly humiliated you and tried to destroy your reputation can lead to a toxic environment that's even worse than it was prior. And it's still going to affect the partners and the children involved. So if you love your children enough, you might say, you know what, I can't live in the same house with them because we're not capable enough to be able to have these conversations without it being very terroristic, us yelling at each other, screaming at each other, us falling out. It's not good for these kids to see. So listen, we're going to have to separate. That's just what's going to have to happen because you failed to do the work, family. If you failed, there got to be a deal breaker somewhere. Being insulted about something that has personal, that is as personal about penis size, your account, your music, the things that you do and chase your dreams with, having someone question your parenting skills. This can deeply affect a person's self-esteem. Such insults are designed to emasculate, dehumanize, and it's leading to long-term psychological harm. This erosion of self-worth can make it impossible to rebuild a healthy relationship. You might be saying I'm talking nonsense, but until you take in what I'm saying, you may not have a healthy relationship, family. If y'all think that these things were okay, I pity it. I feel sorry for any person who got to date y'all. I'm just being honest, family. I'm just being honest, family. Now, I give y'all the benefit of the doubt because most of y'all may not have the mental capacity to be able to think about these things. But once you hear these ideas put before you, you should be smart enough to grasp them and say, okay, I do understand where he's coming from. I don't know why you guys are so mentally immature that you insult when someone's making sense as if you think you're refuting what that person said. For once, I would like to see you guys articulate an argument that rebuttals what I'm saying. Instead of what I look like, my wives, my children. It's crazy, y'all. Who I want to sleep with. It's crazy. It can cause family conflict and alienation. When a partner drags your parents and siblings into a conflict, it can create lasting divisions within the family. This wedge driven between the man and his children, as well as between him and his extended family, can have long-term negative effects on all relationships involved. Reconciliation in this context could mean perpetuating a toxic environment for the entire family. So let's just say he criticized her family. He exposed things that she said to him in privacy. Can't you see why her siblings would say, don't go back to him? He's talked about us. He's criticized us. He's insulted us. How can you go back to a man who publicly denigrated our family? You can't see how that would be said? Why they care if he go back to her? Why would they care if she went back to him, if he actually abused her? They don't want to be hurt even more, right? Isn't she at risk of being hurt again if she go back to this abuser? So I'm thinking that we're all saying, if he abused her, if you believe he did abuse her, I believe that you would say she shouldn't go back to him. And if she falsely accused him of abuse, I believe that you would also say he shouldn't go back to her unless you're biased. Unless you're the one that's biased. Some things you can't reconcile from. That's why you got to have respect for your partner. There's a negative impact on the children. While some argue that staying together is better for the children, witnessing ongoing conflict, disrespect, and lack of trust between their parents can be far more damaging. Children learn about relationships through their parents, and growing up in an environment where the parent is continually disrespected or mistreated, or both are mistreated and disrespected, can lead to long-term emotional and psychological issues that's doomed to repeat themselves. Don't destroy your own children because you're trying to work something out for the sake of your children. That's crazy. That's operating on your child with a rusty knife. When a woman has been physically abused by her husband, this is an absolute deal breaker. When a man has been abused by his wife publicly, it's an absolute deal breaker. Anybody disagree? Type it in the comments. If that's not a deal breaker, say that's not a deal breaker. When a man physically abuses his wife, that is a deal breaker. When a woman tries to destroy her husband's character publicly, that is a deal breaker. Who disagrees? And why? Don't call me ugly, say my nose is big, talk about my children. Actually answer the damn question. If you have the capability to. I notice I'm dealing with a lot of people who are just not that intelligent. And it's not your fault. I'm not mad at you. But if you're not willing to grow and learn, your life is going to be affected by your own mindset. Nobody's doing anything to you. If that's actually how you think, you're going to have a horrible relationship, family. You're going to either take somebody back that beat on you and abused you, or you're going to end up going back to somebody who really humiliated you. That's crazy. Sometimes you got to cry in the car. Sometimes you can't go back to somebody. Here's what happens when you go back to somebody who's treating you that way. Now, we're going to speak specifically for the woman. If he, in fact, is definitely a deal breaker. Thank you, Kamisha. Kamishi. Okay, that's one person who said it's definitely a deal breaker. Here's what happens, family, when a woman goes back to an abusive man. So if he abused her, here's what she would be going back to. Here's what the children would be facing. Safety and well-being would be at risk. The primary concern in any abusive relationship is the safety and well-being of the victim. So she's putting herself in danger. Physical abuse is a clear indicator that the abuser is capable of causing harm. And staying in such a relationship puts the victim at risk for further violence. Reconciliation with an abuser can lead to the cycle of abuse, where the victim is repeatedly harmed, both physically and emotionally. Now think about this. Let's just play this game. Let's say he abused her. Let's say she's online telling people he abused her, his dick small, all this, right? Let's say they go back to each other. You don't think the chances are high he'll abuse her again, because you know he's going to be pissed off that she told people he abused her, talked about his dick size and his money, right? So the first argument come up. You don't think all that shit going to rise to the surface? Come on, let's think about this. Psychological trauma. Physical abuse often leads to deep psychological scars that can take years to heal. Reconciling with an abuser can prevent the victim from fully recovering and moving on from the trauma, the fear, anxiety, and diminished self-worth that results from being abused can affect every aspect of that woman's life, including her ability to parent effectively and maintain other relationships. Why the hell should she go back to a man that's abusing her, y'all? Why? She should not go back to him if he did that. It's not even up for discussion. So why would I believe in reconciliation, y'all? If he's innocent, he shouldn't go back to her. If he's guilty, she shouldn't go back to him. Do you guys not see this? It's a negative modeling for your children. Now speaking on these children who witness domestic violence are profoundly affected. They may develop anxiety, depression, and behavioral issues, and they are more likely to become victims or perpetrators of the abuse themselves in the future. Staying in an abusive relationship sets a dangerous precedent for the children, teaching them that violence is an acceptable part of relationships or that it's even an option in a relationship. Damn. So when they feel hurt, when they feel disrespected in a relationship, instead of walking away, instead of talking about it, instead of saying, I feel disrespected, what you just said hurt me, you know what they're going to do instead? Cuss that person the fuck out. Hurt them back. Because this is what they learned, family. Example. My brother says, you should be grateful. I'm taking care of your children. I'm taking care of you. I'm doing my best to make sure we have a healthy life. The other person says, I see that as abuse. I can't take that from them. I can see a situation where you can see that as abuse, but that person is not abusing you. They're fighting for their own self-value in the relationship, family. Now, I'm going to dig more into this topic a little bit later. But if this person grew up hearing his predecessors say, I do a lot for y'all. Why y'all being bad? I make sure y'all taken care of. Why y'all getting on grandma's nerves? Why y'all won't sit and be quiet? This will become their way of communicating, family. So this person's not coming up with something to hurt you. He's saying what he knows to say. Was my grandma abusing me when she would say, Kevin, I do a lot for y'all. Why y'all won't just sit down sometimes and let me think? Y'all getting on my nerves. I do too much for y'all to be being bad. If my grandma said, Kevin, I raised you, I'm taking you in. I need you to go to school and really try. I need you to stop fighting in school. Stop being a problem. If I grow up and that becomes my way of communicating, now I'm an abuser. Instead of understanding the person's trying to be understood, family. So here's a scenario. A woman marries a man. This man has 3 children. Okay? She marries him with his 3 children, right? Now, ladies, I need your opinion on this, okay? So hopefully y'all not communicating with each other in the comments and arguing back and forth and focusing on nonsense. Stop and listen really quickly. Here's my question to you ladies, okay? You marry a man that has 3 children. His 3 children live with him. Okay, now you're married to him. He goes off to work, leaving you with the children. What you do is take care of them children while he's gone. You make them do their homework. You clean up after them, right? Now, he comes home from a long day's work. I get it. He's looking to change clothes and put on his pajamas he likes to wear. But the clothes haven't been washed, right? So he goes, yo, why didn't you wash the clothes? You had all damn day to throw something in the damn laundry for me. You know I come home and put on my comfortable pants every day. If she says, listen, babe, I'm here working with your children. I'm here making sure that they straight, they do their work and clean up behind them. Can you give me a break? Can you look at some of the things that I actually do and stop pointing at the things when I make a mistake? You're making me feel like I'm worthless. If he responds to that and says, yo, why are you throwing up in my face what you do for me? Would y'all be okay with that? Are you abusing him because you say, listen, I'm here with your children. I got to do all these extra things because you have children. It ain't like I'm just home. If you didn't have children, yo, I can do those other things. But yeah, today I missed the laundry. Can you give me a break? We're not going to call that abuse, right? Because I'm sure y'all can understand why you would now fight for your value, because it seems that he's just poking at anything that you do wrong. And it's deteriorating your self-worth in the relationship. So now you got to say, you know what? Listen, what you actually should say is, listen, baby, when we have these type of conversations, it really makes me feel undervalued and underappreciated. Could you sometimes try to speak some life into me by looking at the things that I actually do for you? Because when you come home and you immediately go to find the things I didn't do, it really makes me feel bad. See, and this time she didn't say, look, I take care of your kids. But these are saying the same things. It's just some people are not really good at communication. So the other person has to understand what their partner is trying to say, man. This is two people trying to work together to have harmony. If both of you guys are quick to call the other person abusive or disrespectful, you're getting nowhere. I'm telling you now. People are going to say things you don't like to hear, or the way they say it's going to be a way you don't want to hear it, but you got to actually try, man. If you're playing football and the quarterback throw the ball too hard, you still got to try and catch that shit. If you underthrow it, you got to come back to the ball. If you're running for the catch here and he throw it behind you, you adjust to try and catch the ball. Imagine if receivers just ran their route, put their hands up, and expected the ball to just land in their damn hand. That is not how it works, family. When you're on teams, you got to work together, man. When he hand that ball off to the running back, that running back has to be ready to receive the ball. Sometimes something may happen where the quarterback may fumble with the ball or whatever, and the running back has to recognize this and go to blocking for the quarterback because the play been blew up. If he just keep running like he got the ball, he's completely out of the play, and the quarterback back here waiting to be hit. That would be crazy. Sometimes you got to recognize when an audible is necessary so you guys can win the game. Does this make sense? Not responding to small-minded comments, guys. Again, you're only exposing your own small mental aptitude, okay? Let's talk about breaking the cycle of abuse. Reconciliation with an abuser often does not fix their behavior, okay? It does not lead to long-term change. Abusers typically repeat their behaviors, and the cycle of violence continues by refusing to reconcile. A woman can break this cycle and create a safer environment for herself and her children. If he was in fact an abuser, she should leave him and create a safer environment for herself and her children. This is a fact. It also sends a strong message to the children that abuse is absolutely unacceptable and that it is important to stand up for oneself and seek safety. Okay? In conclusion, while reconciliation might be seen as a path to maintaining the family union, in certain situations where there has been profound emotional or physical harm, it can do more harm than good. For the man who has been publicly lied about, insulted, and alienated from his family, reconciliation could mean living in a toxic environment, disrespectful environment that damages both his self-worth and his relationships with his children. For the woman who has been physically abused, reconciliation could mean exposing herself to her children, exposing herself and her children to further harm and continuing the cycle of abuse. In both cases, staying together for the children is not a valid argument when the relationship itself is toxic or dangerous. Some situations are absolute deal breakers, and they threaten the safety and well-being of the emotional health of everyone involved. It's better to seek a healthy and peaceful environment or peaceful life apart than to continue in relationships that could cause long-term damage to both the parents and the children. Okay, let's continue.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all, they are holding each other's hands. Y'all, it's like y'all got each other. That's right. That's right. Okay, and so I just wanted to know, like, why did it shock you so much that I was for Brianna and for Mr. LaTruth, Robert, to work it out?
Sure.
And there are like three kids involved, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I want to ask you that.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Well, real quick, yes. Okay. Introduce yourselves.
Okay, let's get past introductions. Y'all know who we are.
End of the month.
Because we were 21, 20 years old.
We was
okay.
Around about 150.
Okay. Yeah. Both that are equally contributing to the decline of the relationship.
I heard someone say something that they would be jealous that if they were Jamie and Lacey's platform being larger than hers, they would be jealous. And again, that's only pointing out that you would cause unnecessary problems in a relationship because those are not necessary things to be upset about. Here's why. Lacey's been using her platform to speak. She's been getting in front of a camera for years as she loves to counsel and give advice and her insight on certain situations. Jamie, however, does not particularly like getting on the camera and doing these types of things. So she rarely ever did that. But even if they both were doing this simultaneously, it would be crazy for them to feel jealous because people chose to follow one over the other. One of them may not be particularly good at that thing. The other one may be. One of them may be liked by more people for whatever reason. People may relate to one person over the other. But you should never blame your husband because your sister wife's platform is either larger than yours or smaller than yours. That would be an unnecessary argument that should never take place. It's just like when I hear women say, I could never share my man. Well, you're only speaking for you. But did I ask you guys to share me? If you weren't asked to share me, you don't have to worry about sleeping with me. Why are you concerned about it? So you guys say, Kevin, why are you so concerned about your brother's situation? Why y'all so concerned about mine? Well, you put it online, right? And that was put online, right? So you have your answer. Stop being idiots. I'm not out here saying, why y'all so concerned about my relationship? I get it. You're gonna have a disagreement with it. You're gonna have something to say about it. But as many women say, I could never share. There's an equal amount of women who say, Kevin, you looking for a third? So many of you guys have different mindsets. So your opinion, believe it or not, is not a fact. You may believe in your opinion as if it were a fact. Maybe a fact that you really believe that way, but it's just not all across the board universal, family. All right. That being said, let's continue.
And both are extremely extreme when it comes to the response of all of that. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is given your background, given you've been married 20 years and then another 40 years, and you're dealing with two women as opposed to one woman. Why did you disagree with how I handled that?
Let's count the interruptions because people seem to think I interrupted her. She never interrupted me. Let's actually look at this, okay? Because when people don't like it, they're going to see you from a different lens and say things that are negative about you, and they're going to always do this. But let's actually see.
Oh, and how to dial back and ask for a reconciliation of the family, of life family.
Okay, and so I'll say this. So,
okay,
regardless of you disagreeing with, I think some of the things, like it's not really a lot. Mm-hmm. I want to thank you for giving my brother a space to be able to speak. Okay, because we live in a world where it's so easy to pick up a camera and just destroy a person. Oh. And we just believe the first thing that someone says. Many of us have been through things, so our trauma overrides, and so we use that trauma to prove them right. We know they're telling the truth because we've been through it with somebody before. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so before you know it, the whole world was against him. You did not see him. Okay, he almost lost it. Okay. Mm-hmm.
You're talking behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Because I know he puts on a very, very good front.
I know my
he's
brother.
Tough.
Okay? He wasn't that day. He wasn't during that time. Okay, so I'm watching him crumbling due to his wife, who he loves with all his heart. He loves that woman. Okay.
I know he does, and I saw that during our interview.
Oh yeah. Now, I said he loves that woman. That's not me talking shit. I said he loves her. While she's on there doing what she's doing, I still said he loves her. And guess what she said? I know he does. I could see it in the interview. This is her admitting that he does love her. Now, later on, she's going to debate that. Can't you see why I didn't see that coming? Somebody said, now, Kevin, you a smart man. You know how interviews work. Well, I never knew interviews work like one moment you say he loves her and the next minute you argue that he doesn't. or that the love is superficial. Do you understand? So, of course, that took me by surprise. Why are you saying that? What right do you have to say that, man? He's already going through enough. How dare you try to say, well, he only loved her for this? That's not fair. And it's irrelevant, period. It's irrelevant. So what I should have said in this moment, in that moment was, it's irrelevant. I don't care whether he loved her or not. I don't care whether she loved him or not. I don't care why they got together, if it was trauma, love, using each other. I don't give a damn. All I care about is if he actually abused her or not. And if he did, she shouldn't go back to him. And if he didn't, he shouldn't go back to her. It's just a simple facts. People want to argue the nuance. The nuance. Who had the most money? Whose page the biggest? Who did this? Who did that? You never, it's so crazy because that's why this saga's lasted so long. Let's continue. Outside looking in, you can see that she came into a relationship with 3 children. and he took on those 3 children.
Right.
You even see a video where he said, I never even wanted kids. Now that scene is him saying something mean, but he's saying, I never wanted kids. So he would have taken her in, raised her children without her giving him one. What? Would you do that? How many years did this couple, how many years was this couple together before they had their child? It was about 3 years, 3 or 4 years, right? Before they even had a child. And when they had a child, he said, I wasn't trying to have a child. I learned that she was pregnant. Okay, now, however that came about, I'm not here to discuss that. But we know this was not an agreement where 2 people said, hey, let's make a baby, right? Now, that being said, I believe when you are married to someone, it is considered mental abuse, emotional abuse to deny them a child if they want one. I'll always believe that, because where else can they get a child if not from their spouse? So I believe a man who's married saying that I never wanted a child, I think that's wrong. I do. Because when you're married to somebody and you want a child and they telling you no, then nobody should be able to deny somebody a child if they want a child, man. And if you married them and you sitting here telling them you ain't gonna give them a baby, that's kind of selfish. You understand? That's kind of selfish. So in any regard, if I want a baby with my wife and she's telling me I don't want to have your kid, I don't want to have a kid, I don't want no more children, yeah, I'm gonna feel like, damn, that's cold-blooded. Because where else am I gonna get a baby if not from you? You my wife. If she's saying, hey, baby, I want another baby, and he's going, baby, we already got 2 or 3 kids. I don't want no more kids. Again, you got to be able to talk about this with your spouse, because if they really want another child, why are you denying them that? Because to deny them of that would put them in a place to where they're longing for something like that and can't have it. I just don't see that as right. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But if I'm in a scenario and my wife wanted 10 kids, she's going to get 10 kids out of me if that's the case. I can't see a scenario where I'm denying my wife a child if she really wants one. I'm married to her. That's crazy. But let's continue.
With a man, though.
On those 3 children.
Right.
You even see a video where he said, I never even wanted kids. Now that scene is him saying something mean, but he's saying, I never wanted kids. So he would have taken her in, raised her children without her giving him one. What? Would you do that?
With a man, no.
With a man, no. With a man, no.
Absolutely not.
It's like y'all hate men. Because I'm sure this woman is heterosexual, right? So she wouldn't do anything with a woman. I'm sure of it. I don't know why she had to preface and go, with a man, no. That's crazy to me. Let's continue.
Avoided the baby daddies. I'm like, oh, you got
That's
kids?
funny.
I'm out. Like, no disrespect. Now, maybe if I was, was everything okay? Yeah. Okay. Maybe if I was divorced at an age like this now, it would be different. But during my youth, absolutely not. I never dated guys with children.
Imagine you're a young man, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want children, then you should probably marry a woman with no children, right? Because if you raise those children and she's not going to give you one, then you're raising someone else's legacy. Right. All of the money and time and teaching and knowledge that you put into those children, while you may genuinely love those children, 100 years from now, those are not your grandkids that they're having. They're someone else's. And men everywhere are contributing to someone else's legacy. Why? They love the woman. Okay, I get it. But treat the man like something. Like stepfathers don't get treated like anything nowadays. Now, let's flip this. There are also many women who are contributing to some man's legacy when those children are not hers. I've seen this in instances where he has children and she doesn't, and they're married. And she's contributing to being a mother for those children. 100 years from now, she had no children. She did not recreate herself. So so what I'm saying is, she was willing to mother his children. Shouldn't he respect her for that? Especially if the actual mother of his children is not involved. Shouldn't he respect her even more for that? Simple question. If a woman has children and the man does not have children with her, and that man is being more of a father to her children than the actual father of those children, and she's saying this publicly, shouldn't she respect him for that? If I had children that my wives didn't want to take care of, didn't want, wasn't around, didn't do right by, and I met a woman who was willing to step up to the plate, I swear to God, I'll respect her. Because she don't have to do that. It ain't her child. The only people that's responsible for your child is the ones that created them, not your mama, not your daddy, and not the people that come into your life. You are responsible for your children. And if you're not holding responsibility for your children, you are a deadbeat. It's just a fact. Ain't no stepfather, ain't no stepmother should be responsible for your children. So if you get with a man and you got kids and you expecting that man to be responsible for your children, you are looking to be saved. You are not looking for a real relationship in which where you have a connection, a genuine ass connection, because it's not his responsibility to father your children. So if he does this out of the love in his heart, yo, respect him for it. Don't call them bitches. That's crazy. So imagine I got 3 children. Me and Jamie don't work out. Say she ain't taking care of the children at all. I'll meet some other woman who willing to come in and love my children like they're her own. She going out with them and doing things with them. I'm going to call her a bitch. I don't deserve that damn lady. Let's continue.
So I'm watching her use the children, turn them against him. I'm watching him. I'm just watching everything crumble. You understand? So number one, I totally agree with, marriage reconciliation. It destroys the children to break up like that. They don't have their parents in the home anymore. Very horrible. But I also look at the person. I always say relationships are about the people in them. Yeah, I love my wives. We will be together, no doubt about it. But they don't do me like she did him. And as much as I love my wives, if they did me that way, we would not be together. And I would never.
Did you hear that? As much as I love my wives, if they went on a platform and publicly degraded me, spoke negatively of me, beat me down with their words, told me I wasn't shit, was never gonna be shit. Yo, I'm not going back to them, yo. It won't stop me from loving them, but I'm gonna do my crying in the car. I'm moving the fuck on. And if I did that to them, they should cry in the car too. They should not come back to me after I did them like that. That's crazy. Whatever issues we'd have going on here could remain between us, but I took my ass to social media and ruined their reputations and the reputation of our union. If they said, Kevin, I love you dearly, but I can't go back to that, I gotta respect that. Let's continue.
Do that to them. And if I did that to them, then they should avoid me at all costs. You have to.
Now, after I'm saying this, people in the comments saying, he don't make no sense. He's nonsense. He's just talking to try to sound smart. Also, up until this point, I've never interrupted her. Okay, let's continue.
Think about your own well-being and protecting yourself. And you said at your own assessment, and even the things that she said to you, she was trying to sabotage this man. She was trying to ruin him, build her brand off of him. How do you reconcile with someone who does that? How?
Have you ever been?
Now, right here, she could have answered the question, right? Now, we're in the heat of a conversation, but they're saying Kevin is not listening to actually respond to what she's saying. He's just talking to hear himself talk. Well, right here, I asked the question, okay? Give me a scenario where a man should take somebody back. How can you reconcile after this? What she says is, have you ever been with a narcissist? Now, this may have been her attempt to answer the question, but what I was looking for is, why would a person take them back? I was looking for her to say, how about this should happen? Okay? But she says, have you ever been with a narcissist, right? I should have said, what does narcissist mean? Do you understand? Let's continue.
In a relationship with a narcissist before?
Well, we have many things that we can call narcissistic traits. I'll say this, I've never been with someone who was diagnosed as a narcissist. It would be unfair for me to say, but I have dated women who I would say seemed very narcissistic. Okay. So I can't.
So this was an opportunity for me to call all my exes narcissists if I wanted to. And notice I didn't take that opportunity because I don't believe you have a right to do that. Okay, let's continue.
And say that. Okay. Actually, when I was developing my poly relationship, Jamie and I were separated. I was dating Lacey and a couple of other.
Jamie and I were separated. Okay, she was aware that I was doing my own thing. I asked to leave based on that. Didn't want to be in a marriage anymore. I was young, immature, didn't realize it was about longevity, didn't understand what true love was, and I wanted out the marriage. And it broke her heart, but she let me go, right? Some people say, well, Kevin, you was cheating. If you had all these women, you was cheating. Well, if you're saying being married and separated, and the wife has the knowledge that you're not with her and that you're doing your own thing is cheating, I guess you can call me a cheater. But in this scenario, one of these partners moved on long before the divorce was final. Are you also saying they were cheating and they're a serial cheater? Because I don't think so. I think once they decide they're not together anymore, that person going and getting somebody else just solidifies y'all really not together anymore. But to say you cheated on me, I don't think so. Do you understand, guys? So in one scenario, they say, well, she's not cheating even though she has someone else. But Kevin, you was cheating because you had other people, but you was also separated. Okay, I guess. But I don't see that as cheating, okay? Let's continue. And I'm sure if she saw that as cheating, she wouldn't have nothing to do with me. Let's continue.
The women, a few of those behaved just like she did when I chose Lacey. I decided I wanted to be with Lacey instead of those other women. They went online, said a bunch of lies, called me broke, said they was paying for me, and just a bunch of the same stuff.
Okay.
So I've seen this happen before. What it did for me is it scared me. It made me say, okay, well, I'm already a public figure. Trying to date like a normal man, it isn't safe. A lot of them already have investments into dealing with you. And so if it don't go their way, they'll try to punish you for it because you're somebody. You understand?
Now, what I said is, it scared me. When they went public and said all these negative and harsh things about me after I didn't want to be with them, see, they were perfectly fine with me until I broke it off with them. Now they're online complaining about me. So guess what? If I never broke it off with them, they would have never went online complaining about me. They'd have still been with me, right? Which means I can't be that bad of a person because they still trying to mess with me, right? But they're upset because I did not choose them. And guys, I had my reasons. Some of them I couldn't trust, because they were telling me that it was only me, okay? And it wasn't only me. They were dealing with other guys. I caught them a couple of times. I didn't have, I wasn't too angry because they could do what they wanted to do, okay? But the kicker was, don't tell me that it's only me when it's not. If I can't trust you when you can do what you want to do, then I certainly can't trust you if we're supposed to be dedicated to one another, right? And so just based on my relationships and things that happened in those relationships, I chose not to continue seeing those women, right? Now, when I did this, they went public. Now, here's my accountability to this. I can't date multiple women at the same time. It's not going well for me, okay? It could be because I'm a somebody. It could be because women, while they say they're okay with this, they're actually not. And it could manifest into something that's very toxic, even though they said they were okay with it. So I choose not to do that anymore and to set my ass down somewhere and just deal with the women that I'm going to be with, right? Now, let's continue. Tasha's going to ask me a question here.
Saying, so these women were fine until I said, I don't want to be with you guys. I want to be with Lacey.
Had you laid down with any of those women?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you do take on the responsibility of why it went the way that it went.
Well,
as a Black man, as a leader, and I consider Black men the top
sure.
of the top of the top, right? I'm talking about out of all men.
Sure.
And that is why you guys are attacked at every different angle. Okay. And so I'm reverting back to like my husband's dad, right? I love to use him as an example. 4 wives, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his family has always, even if there were like, I don't know, I'm sure that there were other women outside to get to those 4 wives, right? But the way we see women behaving now versus back then, it's like, as a man, you have to take responsibility to some degree with whom you decide to lay down with, right? Before, to figure out that character before they take to social media to try to destroy you. It's kind of like knowing who you're laying down with.
Sure.
Okay?
In my opinion, there's no way of knowing. So if she's saying there's some level of accountability for me as a Black man and as a leader, that in dating these women, I should somehow be accountable for why it ended up in it going to online. I would say this, family. Have you guys ever seen a man trying to get with a woman? He does all these things for her. He takes her all these places. He buys all these things. And then in the end, when she decides that she doesn't want to sleep with him, maybe she wanted to in the beginning. Maybe he did something to turn her off. But regardless, she'll say, well, I'm not interested in moving forward with this, right? Okay, cool. When the man gets upset and say, why did you let me give you all this stuff? Why did you let me take you out and do all this stuff? Notice the woman says, you wanted to do that. So she's not taking accountability for this man's anger and him feeling used and abused by her, because she feels like she has a right to not sleep with him if she so decides not to, right? Now, ladies, you guys are the gateway to sex. It's up to you whether you want to sleep with a man or not. And him taking you out should not guarantee him sex. Him taking you out several times should not guarantee him sex if, in fact, you feel like you don't want to sleep with him. But you should recognize that if you don't like this man, you shouldn't let him do all these things, right? But if you like this guy at first, and he takes you out on, say, 4 dates, right? And the fourth date or the fifth date, he does and says something that turns you off. Don't you have every right to say, I'm no longer interested? Do you owe him some sex now because you've been letting him take you out? Now, he's going to feel like, damn, I done put in all this work, and now you saying we can't move forward? This will be the case. Well, because you guys are the gateway to sex, and it should be up to you whether you sleep with somebody or not, men are the gateway to relationships. So if you dating me, if you choosing to sleep with me before I make it official with you, you wanted to do that. Why can't I use the same argument that y'all use? If those ladies slept with me, I didn't put a gun to their head. Hell, they came on to me. Some of them. But I'm saying, why can't I say, well, you wanted to sleep with me? I don't owe you a relationship. I've determined based on your actions and something that you've done that I don't want to go into a relationship with you. I don't care if we've had sex. I don't have to date you because we had sex. Because those same women will say, you slept with me and you don't want to be with me. And dudes will say, wait a second, you let me take you out and buy you all this stuff and you don't want to sleep with me? She feels right. She feels like I don't have to sleep with you. So he feels like I don't have to date your ass because we slept together. So I think there's accountability on both sides. The man should not spend so much because there's a risk he might not get with her. The woman shouldn't give out so much because there's a risk that he might not actually date her. I wouldn't put the responsibility solely on one person. Do you understand? But that's really neither here nor there. That's just to the point of her saying that I had some type of involvement in somebody picking up a damn phone and going public to say I was broke. Doesn't matter if I was broke or not. You was fucking with me. I was broke at the time, and yet you chose to fuck with me. So if I break up with you now, why are you going and telling people I was broke? You know, that's crazy, right? If I thought your ass wasn't fat, or I thought you wasn't that cute, or you don't do something right in bed, that may be true. But as soon as you say, Kevin, I don't want to talk to you no more. Now I get online and say, well, it ain't like she had no ass anyway. She couldn't give head right. She was lazy in bed. Yo, it's irrelevant, bruh. You're mad because this woman don't want to be with you no more, so you on here trying to disparage her. That's all it is to it. Even if she was this or that. She always wore wigs, never saw her real hair. She always wore makeup. If I got all these complaints, if these things were true the entire time, why am I now taking to social media to voice my concerns about somebody because they don't want to be with me? You should be glad if this broke nigga broke up with you then. Go be happy. He was broke anyway, right? Why are you online mad because he broke? He broke up with you. He is broke. He broke up with you. I heard somebody say, Kevin, she wasn't lying. So what? She wasn't lying. I was building myself up at the time. No, I didn't have much money, but I still did certain things for them. They did certain things for me. But it's irrelevant if I was broke or not. If I say I don't want to talk to you no more, I shouldn't be subject to your judgment, to you going online trying to destroy me. You see what I'm saying? Let's continue.
And Robert knew very well the type of person Brianna was.
I don't think so. I think he told himself a fantasy of who she would be. And men do that. See, a woman has an idea of marriage. Typically, it's a guy who's doing better than her resourcefully. And he comes and shares those resources with her and gives her a better life. He's tall, all this type of things. A man's idea of marriage is that that woman loves him, that she's a unicorn, that she's special. That's what he thinks. He doesn't think that she's a liar, conniving, deceitful. He doesn't think that. Oh, he would not marry her. He's going to walk around with her on his arm. He wants her to make him look good. This is why men don't marry women if he has value that lives like that. She doesn't make him look good. It would be an embarrassment. His peers won't respect him because he's married a woman of low value. So
see, Kevin speaks nonsense. What has just been said was he knew what type of woman she was. Now, my rebuttal was there's no way because he married her. Men on this platform right now, would you marry a woman that you knew was toxic, was going to disrespect you, was going to treat you low down, and ultimately get online and try and destroy you? Would you marry her? I guarantee you every one of you would say no. So by saying that he knew what he was getting sounds crazy. He did not know what he was getting. Neither did she. Nobody knows. These things you learn on the go. Let's continue.
if he marries her, he thinks that she's a charm. That's what he thinks.
But we started off this conversation with Brianna being somewhat considered by men of low value with 3 kids. She's coming into a relationship with a man who's pretty much a bachelor who already has a social media presence. So, I mean, so are we gonna blame, like, at this point it's like Brianna's hand was open, right? It was kind of like, I'm coming as I am, right? This is what I'm coming with. And then they have a child together. Him using the excuse that he didn't know or couldn't see that to me is insane. Because you have to understand, when people come with that much baggage, you have to understand what comes with that, because she's been scorned before, obviously.
So from
to this point, I've still not interrupted her, right? So she asked this question, right? Here's my response, family.
my eyes,
Okay.
I could see it.
Okay.
And I tried to talk to him about that. But he loved her. See, I've dated a lot in my life. I met Jamie really young. We had a very long relationship, obviously.
Okay.
So I've dated other women. My brother always clowned me because I'm the type of person who will date. I'm not a hit it and quit, one night stand type of guy. No.
Now, guys, if you're the type of guy who you're always going to be with one girl for over a period of time, does men not give you a hard time about this and be like, you always trying to wife somebody up, you always trying to save somebody? Is this not something that men will do? It's just a way to banter other men. It's just something that happens. And growing up, I was always teased about this. You always trying to make somebody your woman, bro, because I believe in dating and getting to know somebody, right? So I don't do the one night stand thing. I like to know the person I'm dealing with and get to know them even further, right? So somebody might say, well, that right there is you caking. That right there is you being attached too easily, right? Where they may juggle women, okay? So when I say my brother was a Casanova for most of his life, he might have had 2 relationships where he was invested, but most of his life, these women were, it's like a revolving door. And when I say he didn't have ugly women, this is what I mean by he didn't have ugly women. One time we lived right beside each other. Jamie, remember we lived right beside Rob? He lived in an apartment beside us, right? I mean, I ain't trying to tell that man business, but it was a revolving door. My brother, hey, listen, he was the man. And I hate to say that because that's negative thinking. That's what destroys our culture. That doesn't mean you're the man, okay? That's not good, okay? At the time, it looked cool because men are taught they can do whatever with themselves, and women have to have standards. I think we both have to have standards, but we had a really terrible upbringing, and we were taught as young boys that the more women you get contributes to your own manhood. And I don't think this is good advice at all, okay? It turns us into people who destroy these women, make them see the world differently because you're sitting here trying to be a man to the point to where it's a rites of passage. And what you're doing inadvertently is using women to do this. And that's foul. If you told women the more sex you have, the more of a woman you are, that would change their view on it. They wouldn't see it as something that's sacred, that's special. Instead, they take advantage of men to get their body counts up in order to be accepted by their peers. That's a horrible teaching. And this is why you heard me say Black culture has destroyed our consciousness. Us trying to contribute to these things we hear in rap songs and things of that nature is literally destroying our communities and our consciousness. We can't even see where things are wrong because they seem to be acceptable in these songs and in the world and society that we live in. We got to be better than that. We got to start looking at these things and say, damn, maybe it's the way that we're living that's shaping how people view us, right? But anyway, let's continue.
I've done it in my entire life. Okay, so he always said, man, you like to just stay with women and stuff like that.
And we're talking about Robert, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the thing is, it taught me skills that helped me maintain a relationship. You understand? So I can see it where he's been a Casanova his whole life. He's never had a serious relationship.
Now, this is consistent with my teaching and my philosophy on my platform. If you guys have followed me for years, you've heard me say, men, stop jumping from woman to woman. You're not going to learn the necessary skills to be able to have empathy, understanding, communication. By doing that, you're only increasing your body count, and this is not contributing to you being a better man at all, at all. Instead, brag about how long you can make a relationship last. Let that be the thing you brag about instead of how many women you smashed this weekend or last month. These things are not benefiting you at all. So instead, try and make a relationship last. And these things should be questions you ask on a date. Have you had any serious relationships? How long were they? Because if a man be like, yo, I'm 35 and I ain't never had a serious relationship, that should tell you something. That's a red flag whether he has children or not. If he says, I've had 3 relationships, each of them lasted 2 years, these are green flags. Now, it could be a red flag. After 2 years, you ended the relationship. Why? After all that investment. I just didn't love her no more. And if this happened 3 times, then what you should learn by that is after about 2 years, this person is over it and they're no longer emotionally invested, and it's probably going to be over. But if it was due to some type of irreconcilable differences, you grew apart, whatever the case may be, she no longer wanted to be with me, she cheated, these types of things can still be a green flag. You understand? Let's continue, though.
So when he met Brianna, red flags that he would normally notice through trial and error, he doesn't notice them.
And that's where I was holding him.
And here's the red flags I'm talking about. Complaining about your ex, okay? This is a red flag. That's a red flag. Let me play this for you. Listen at this real quick. These are not my words at all. Someone else's words. This is not Kevin's words. Listen at this, family.
There are 2 types of single mothers. One of those single mothers is a gift to mankind, and the other is a punishment to anybody who's ever walked in her path. If you meet a single mother and she is co-parenting effectively, is really happy for the children to spend time with her previous partner or a previous partner's family, and she seems to be really effective at communicating, she's got good boundaries with her previous partner, then this woman is a gem. She's given you a preview of what kind of emotionally stable person she is. She's shown you if shit hits the fan and if one day you 2 break up, she can still compartmentalize her feelings and do what's best for the children. So she's a huge green flag. The other type of single mother is narcissistic, judgmental. She will make your life and her children's life a slow suicide day by day by putting her needs first. If you meet a single mother and her first sentence is, my ex was a narcissist, my ex was abusive, my ex, and she talks about how terrible he was, this is a huge red flag. She's showing you that she doesn't have good vetting process when it comes to romantic relationships. If you can lay in bed and have children with a man that you consider abusive, and you're saying there was no red flags before, it all happened afterwards, this person is blind. She goes into dating blind. She goes into relationships blind. It shows that she could put her children in danger again because that mother didn't reflect on her selection process and completely blamed the ex. The second red flag of a narcissistic single mother, she doesn't allow the ex-husband to access the children, or she makes it incredibly difficult. She'll either get courts involved, she'll move the children far away, she will not allow her children to go to the grandparents' house. She makes life difficult for that father that's trying to see the child. Some of these single moms are a bit delusional, and they'll say, oh, but he doesn't want to. When you dig deeper, you realize that he does want to. She made it so difficult in the beginning that he eventually gives up. Knowing full well that children need 2 parents, she doesn't care about that. She puts her ego first. She might be great to you now. She might be loving and kind and just say, oh, he was awful, I'm just protecting my children from abuse. But she's giving you an insight into what would happen if you 2 had children and you annoy her. Most mothers who block access to a child's father, they go on to do it again.
Now, I bet you he didn't know this then. So when she would say, listen, I've been a subject to abuse, I've been subject to a narcissistic or terroristic behavior, he looked at this and says, I can treat you better. If she had somebody who loved her right, she won't act like that. It won't break down. Instead of recognizing the red flag, he stands up for the damsel in distress and says, I can treat you better than that. I can love you better. Right? Now, here's something she did right, okay? That all of you women should learn from. She says, I will not move with you until you marry me. That's what you're supposed to say. I want my daughter to say that. Don't move with this man unless he's willing to marry you. Why are you shacking up? She did the right thing. The problem with this was she was moving from one state to the other, which separates her children now from the father. Now, that's a red flag. Now, here's the kicker. When you factor in that he's not there for those children, it's no longer a red flag. Because why would you stay in the state of somebody who won't even come see the damn kids anyway? So again, no red flag there. If he actually wasn't contributing to being a father to his children, she had every right to move wherever the hell she want to move. He ain't been there anyway. So she wasn't wrong in that. In fact, that's right. So you say, well, why did they marry inside of 3 months? Because she wasn't about to let this dude move in. She wasn't about to move in with this guy if she wasn't going to get that. Maybe she learned this from the last time. She has 3 children with 1 man. There was no marriage that happened. So a woman who says, you know what, I learned from that mistake. I'll never do this again unless I'm married. Green flag, it means she's learned from the situation, right? Not a problem at all with that. But if he was a father who was dedicated to his children and she's that quick to just move the children out of state that quickly, that would be a red flag. But being that she's saying to my brother, he ain't there for his children. You can see how he wouldn't see this as a red flag, right? Let's continue.
Accountable at because
Well, and I would hold him accountable there too, but that's in lack of knowledge. So so for us, we can see a woman of low value, right?
okay.
So she has 3 children outside of him. Now, low value, not personality wise,
Right.
okay? Because I would never paint this idea that a single mother is a bad person in any way.
Right.
Damn. Now listen, everybody keep trying to say, Kevin talking about single mothers, right? He's saying single mothers are bad or they're a red flag overall. I never said that. I said I would never say that a single mother is a bad person in any way. That's what I said. A red flag means it's an opportunity to ask more questions. A red flag doesn't even mean that it's going to lead somewhere negative. It means that you just heard this thing. You better ask more questions about it and find out more details about it. It may not be a red flag. It may be. So it's worth asking a question, family. So how is it that a woman with children could be a red flag? Let's go through some red flag scenarios, right? Multiple baby fathers. Red flag, okay? If a single mother or father, because I want to make this clear. If you've got children and you're not with the mother or father of those children, that indicates a red flag. Do you understand that? Just having one children on either party. I hate when it's only brought, when the mirror is only faced to a single mother. Single father is a red flag as well. It has to be. Failure to make a relationship work after you had children together is diabolical. Let's be real, y'all. The most important decision that you're going to ever make is to have children with somebody, not marriage. Not a marriage. A marriage can be dissolved. You can go your own way like it never happened. Children can't be stuffed back in the womb like they never happened, family. They here. So it's a greater step to have children with someone than it is to go to the damn courthouse, sign marriage certificate, have a damn ceremony, and get married. One of these is greater than the other. Okay? So if a person's out here having children with somebody that they haven't got married to, that is a red flag, family. So if my brother has a child and she's not living with him, nor is he with the woman should ask more questions because there's a red flag. So you have a child? Okay, you're not with the woman. Why? Well, she cheated on me. Okay, that makes sense. Well, do you see your child? Every chance I get. Well, how often is that? Because every chance I get could be once a year. I see her every other weekend per the courts, or I get her weekend and week off. I get her every summer. Okay, moving forward. But you have to ask questions about the red flag, right? So red flag scenarios, okay? If a single mother or father has children by 3 or 4 different fathers, this could indicate a pattern of unstable or tumultuous relationships. This is several baby fathers. Same thing for a man if he has several baby mothers, because you didn't just do this once with somebody. You've done this multiple times. Now, this still may not indicate a red flag. A woman could have two baby fathers. Both relationships, she could have been married in them. Both relationships, she could have been serious in them. And they could have deteriorated due to something that he did. To tell that woman that now she's a red flag is crazy. Example, after 10 years of marriage, maybe 15 years of marriage, I decided to leave Jamie, not because she did anything wrong. She didn't do a single thing wrong. I left. How can she be a red flag? Because she's got 3 children. That's crazy. She didn't do anything to deserve that. I left. So if she's a red flag, that's diabolical. Sometimes things happen where a woman can be having several children or several baby fathers, and it may not be a red flag, but it's worth asking the question. It's an opportunity to learn more about this person and why. Once you learn why, then you can say for sure if it's a red flag or not. Especially if they're not showing any accountability to changing these behaviors, family. Does this make sense? So let's do this. We're going to go back. We're going to say 3 children with 1 partner. How can that be a red flag? Okay. It could indicate there's unresolved issues. If the individual has 3 children with 1 person and is now single, it could suggest unresolved issues in that relationship, such as difficulties with commitment, communication, or conflict resolution. The breakup of a long-term relationship, especially when the children are involved, might signal challenges in maintaining stability in a partnership. Co-parenting challenges may be their ongoing tensions or conflicts with the ex-partner, which could create stress or complications in any future relationship. This is why women want to make sure if you got baby mama drama. All right? This is why men want to make sure if you got baby daddy drama, because who you co-parenting with could become a problem that stresses them out also. Right? The presence of a deeply involved ex could be a factor to consider. This is a woman with 3 children and 1 baby daddy. It could be a red flag. Here's how it could be a green flag. This is why you got to ask questions. It could be a green flag because it shows commitment to family. It shows having 3 children with 1 partner could indicate that the individual values family and is capable of committing to a long-term relationship. The breakup might have been due to reasons beyond their control, such as infidelity, abuse, or simply growing apart. They could have strong co-parenting skills with this person they have 3 children with, which would be a green flag. If a person has a healthy co-parenting relationship with their ex, it could show maturity, responsibility, and the ability to prioritize the well-being of their children. This indicates a level of emotional intelligence and readiness for a new relationship. Now let's go with 3 children and 2 partners. Here's how it could be a red flag. It could be a pattern of instability. Having 3 children with 2 different partners could raise concerns about the individual's ability to maintain stable long-term relationships. It might suggest a pattern moving from the relationship when challenges arise, because some people run in the face of problems rather than working through them. Complicated dynamics. The involvement of 2 ex-partners in the children's lives could lead to complex dynamics such as differing parenting styles, ongoing conflicts, or the need to or the need to navigate multiple co-parenting arrangements, which could be stressful for a new partner. Here's how having multiple baby fathers, two baby fathers with multiple children could be a green flag even. Resilience and growth. This individual may have learned valuable lessons from their past relationships and grown as a person. This could make you more self-aware and be better at communication and more equipped to handle challenges in future relationships. It could also show balanced and co-parenting. If this woman maintains two successful co-parenting relationships, it shows that she knows how to manage co-parenting with both ex-partners. It could indicate that they are responsible and capable of maintaining healthy boundaries and relationships despite past difficulties. The lady I just played says she knows how to compartmentalize the issues in the relationship and separate those from the fact that she has to work with this man because he is the father of her children. Okay, now let's talk about 3 children with 3 partners. Here's how it can be a red flag. Significant relationship turmoil. With 3 different partners involved, the scenario might suggest a history of troubled relationships, perhaps marked by repeated cycles of attraction and breakdown. It could indicate difficulty in sustaining long-term commitments or in choosing compatible partners. So if you go from one guy to the other, and you've had 3 baby daddies, maybe you're not considering the past when you decide to have a child with yet another man, right? There's heightened potential for drama because now you got to worry about if there's baby mama or baby daddy drama with 3 different people, not just 1 or 2, right? So there's a potential for drama. The presence of 3 ex-partners, each with their own involvement in the children's lives, could bring about a high potential for drama or ongoing conflicts. A new partner might find themselves entangled with these complex dynamics, which could be overwhelming, okay? Now, here's how it could be a green flag. Experience and maturity. Having navigated relationships with multiple partners and raised children with them, this individual may have gained significant life experiences and emotional maturity. They may be more discerning about what they want in a future relationship and better handle these challenges. Adaptability. Successfully co-parenting with multiple ex-partners could demonstrate this person's adaptability, resilience, and ability to manage complex relationships. It could show that they are capable of maintaining peace and stability in the face of potentially difficult circumstances. Now, I heard 2K say yesterday, if you got 1 baby daddy, I'm going to give you a pass. You got 2 baby daddies, girl, you showing your ass. You got 3 baby daddies, girl, your ass is embarrassing. 4 baby daddies, man, girl, you need some therapy, right? I was like, 1 baby, 2 baby, 3 baby, 4 baby, please don't have no babies no more. Then I said, wait a second, time out. I ain't about to ride on that beat. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Because it may not mean that, right? So what if you do have 4 children? By 4 different men. 2K. He's hilarious, by the way. Anyway, I was rocking out to that. I said, man, this dude, that shit hit. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, history of instability. If you got 4 children with 4 partners, right? It shows a history of instability. Having 4 children with 4 different partners might be seen as a strong indication for instability in a relationship. It could suggest a pattern of entering and exciting relationships quickly, possibly without fully considering the long-term implications, right? You have condoms, you have plan B, you have you can cancel the pregnancy. You have all these different factors. You could be on birth control. All these different factors could come into play, and yet you've managed to have 4 children with 4 different men. It would seem as though you haven't learned from the mistakes that you've made. So that could be a red flag, right? It could be potentially chaotic family life because you have, 4 different partners. You're trying to manage a relationship with 4 different ex-partners, each potentially involved in the children's life. Could result in a very complicated and potentially chaotic family life. This might be difficult for a new partner to navigate, especially if there are unresolved issues with any ex-partners. Could there be a green flag to having 4 children with 4 men? Absolutely. There's always a chance somebody could be accountable to something and grow from it, making them a better individual overall. This woman could have 4 children who are scholars because she could be intelligent herself, and she could sit down with these children and make sure that they're sharp. And your child having her, with her being her 5th child, your child could be better off by having your child with a woman who doesn't have any children, because she may not know how to raise and nurture children into being smart and capable. Do you understand? So she could have been in a situation where 4 men promised her the world and they all left her eventually, right? And now she has these 4 children by 4 different men, but she's great with those children, right? So your child might be better off being raised by her, being birthed by her, because she knows how to raise a king. Now, if you go say, well, you got too many children, and you go pick some woman who don't have no children, she may not have any understanding of how to raise children either. And so your child being born to her could be worse off than having her with a mother of 4 children who knows how to raise a child, okay? But here's the green flags, okay? She has rich life experience now through all of these experiences, right? The individual may have a wealth of life experience that could that can make her deeply aware of what she wants and what she needs from a relationship. They may have learned valuable lessons from each relationship and be more equipped to build successful, stable partners and children in the future. They can have an emotional strength that's unlike any other. Successfully raising 4 children with the involvement of 4 partners could indicate emotional strength, resourcefulness, and the ability to maintain harmony in challenging situations. If the person has managed to create a stable environment for their children despite these complexities, it could be a sign of strong character and resilience. So whether having 3 or 4 children with different fathers is seen as a red flag or a green flag largely depends on the individual's growth, their current relationship dynamics with the ex-partners, and how they have managed these challenges associated with raising their children. While these scenarios can present potential challenges, which is what a red flag is, it could be a potential challenge, they could also indicate a value life experience, emotionally maturity, and resilience. This is why you must ask questions, family. But let's continue.
Been through stuff.
Right.
So that's why I say relationships are about the people in them. It's not a rule of thumb, don't deal with women with children, but you need to vet her and understand what her thinking is like. And if she tells you what her relationship was like with her ex, you need to listen.
Kevin said women with children are bad. How's he going to explain this one? Any intelligent person would know I don't have to because I already did. Right here. So I watch morons say, how's he going to explain this? I did in the damn video, stupid. Let's continue.
If it's a whole bunch of trauma, then you need to really hear this.
Right.
Because even if she was done wrong, if she hasn't healed from that, you will have to pay for that.
Right.
That's not a good thing. And she's wrong for that, actually. We are always responsible for our own healing. If you put a Band-Aid on or a cast, it don't heal your wound or your bone. You do that. The cast just holds your bone in place. Right? The Band-Aid just covers the wound to keep it from being infected. Your body is doing that healing. Even if you go to the doctor and get medication, if you have a terminal illness, when your body builds itself back, that's your body. The medicine don't do that. So when we come...
Are you understanding this, family? It's your cells that work to rebuild your body. So if you had cancer and you go through chemo, they may kill the cancer, but your body's recovery is based on your own cells. So what you have to do is take control of your healing, eating right, taking in the right nutrition. And these things help to aid your body in healing. So likewise, if you have been in an abusive relationship, a challenging relationship, it may not be your fault that you've been hurt or injured, but you have to do the work to heal yourself. You can get books to read. They help you to get over things. You can get therapy, but you have to do the work to heal, family, just like your body does the work to heal. You can't make somebody else responsible for your healing. Do you understand? Does this make any sense, family? Let's continue.
Out of relationships, we go right back into one, taking all the experiences from that last relationship into this one. You're wrong for that.
And I asked him, I said, do you feel that your relationship was based on trauma, like a trauma bond? And he said, yes, during our interview. And that's the first, I think that's the first step to acknowledging that. I don't think there needs to be a separation. I think there needs to be a breakdown of everything that this relationship was built on and a reconciliation of how can we build from here.
Right.
Because both of us were entering, and I did recently see them do something together online. So,
which is horrible as well.
I didn't see. I didn't
talking about the interview they did. Whatever. Yeah, it was a setup to call my brother a narcissist. Even though she came on there and did a lot of the same things she's always done, when they got off, they were calling him a narcissist again. It's unreal. And she told him before the interview that it was going to be a setup. So she did an interview with those people the first time. They did not call my brother and ambush her so it could be fair. But when he did the interview, they called her and ambushed my brother so it could be fair.
Okay.
And then after the interview, this specialist, or she says that she's a specialist, some type of therapist, calls him a narcissist, diagnoses him on a public platform.
Yeah, you can't diagnose anyone. That's why I said we all have narcissistic.
He has children watching. He's trying to build this relationship that she destroyed with his daughter, and she's going to go on a public platform to say my brother's a narcissist. She has no care in the world for what this man is going through. Mm-hmm. I think Brianna paid her. I think she pays a lot of people. This is why I say you cannot deal with this person. See, if you break Brianna all the way down to where it began, okay. She want to build her platform. She's going to use him to do that. She's just simply.
Those are Tasha K's words, wanting to break him down, wanting to tear him down, wanting to use the platform to do that, wants to build it off of him. This is all Tasha K's words. I was on the phone with her when she was trying to go to Tasha K. Tasha K was on the phone with her, and this is what she says. Let's continue.
The way she's treating him. Mm-hmm. Okay, you take her back, this woman who literally tried to destroy everything y'all tried to build, tried to rip the children from you. I don't see a way to patch that. The person is gone. That person doesn't deserve a husband. He'll have to go through the heartbreak because he did not vet. He didn't vet. He shouldn't have been so googly eyed at it.
I don't agree because I mean he went in with trauma. She went into a relationship with trauma. They both contributed equally.
What trauma would you say he brought in?
The trauma from.
Now, right here, when she says he went in with trauma, she went into trauma. What my question was is, what trauma would you say he brought in? And the reason I asked this question is, frankly, you don't know him. You're speculating here. So I wanted to see what she would say, but what I should have said, completely irrelevant. I don't care if they were both broken. I don't care if they were both empty inside. That doesn't give him a right to abuse her. It doesn't give her a right to abuse him. So if they do abuse one another, we shouldn't be talking about how it all started. The bottom line is it's an unhealthy, destructive relationship today when both parties should walk away from this if they are being fucking abused. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Even if my brother was guilty of abusing her, he shouldn't go back to her once she's made it public. Even if she was guilty of abusing him, she shouldn't go back to him once he's made it public. But neither should they go back to a fucking abuser. Once you take your private issues inside of your home and you publicize them, that shit should be over. This is why people think that shit okay. Because people take each other back and end up there again, in front of the camera again, like everything happy. And now all of a sudden, now all the comments have changed. They looking at you, talking, criticizing your relationship. Look at Rose. She ain't never gonna live that shit down what she just did to her husband. It's over once you do that shit. It should be over once you do that. Let's continue.
His past, his mother, and
His
wanting,
mom.
yeah, and just
trauma.
and the trauma of him not having a relationship ever. So you're taking someone who is very inexperienced in relationships, and so he's putting himself with someone who's very experienced with having relationships.
Consider the leverage.
And then he.
So right here, she said, you're taking someone, my brother, the man, who is not experienced in relationships, and you're taking the woman who is in fact experienced in the relationships. Now, here's what we hear from the outside. You're older than her. You're 11 years her senior. Who was the veteran in this scenario and who was the rookie? The one who's had longer relationships would be considered the veteran in this scenario, and they could use the things they've learned in relationships to manipulate the person who doesn't have a clue how relationships are supposed to go. It's like we live in a world where we think age means wisdom. You're older. You're the man. Gender means wisdom now. You're the man. You're supposed to lead. Well, if he's supposed to lead, isn't someone supposed to follow? But in their mind, you can treat your man exactly how you want to. Disrespect him, be disobedient, don't take his advice, argue back and forth with your leader. But he's supposed to still be a leader. How can you lead someone who's not going to follow you? Please answer that question, family. So if you've made someone your leader and you will not follow them, you're abusing the leader. Do you understand this? Is this making sense, y'all? If you're determining that the man is the leader, why wasn't the wife behaving like the follower? Why are they yelling back and forth? Why is a hat being slapped off his head saying, do something? Why is he being met with man energy? But if he give man energy back, now he wrong. But the person who's supposed to follow this person and respect him as a leader is disrespecting the hell out of him, giving him man energy. But when he give her man energy back and say, shut the fuck up, you B, when she's saying B to him, he wrong because he the leader. But she ain't wrong because she the follower. You guys are not making any damn sense. And this is why your actual relationship, I know is shit. I know it's not healthy because you think these things are okay. They're not. There's a debt of respect owed to the person that's supposed to be the leader. And there's a debt of grace owed to the person that's supposed to be the follower. Just because he's the leader doesn't give him a right to throw his weight around. And her being the follower doesn't mean that she should be able to throw her weight around because he way more than her. Or he the oldest, so he should be my punching bag. There's a scenario where they're like, if he were to hit her back, he 250 pounds. She don't weigh but this amount. Was he 250 pounds when she hit him first? So what the hell are you talking about? You telling me the larger person has to take abuse from a smaller person because the person is smaller when they hit them first. Y'all won't do that with y'all own kid. Your own flesh and blood as a child can come up and kick your ass in the leg or hit you, and you about to hit that kid back. You're not saying, wait a second, I'm bigger than them. Because you know at this moment, you must assert your authority or this child is going to be unruly. They're going to disrespect you, blatantly disrespect you as a parent if you don't do something about this. So now you might have to get physical with them. Now, if the child say, they abusing me, but the child is saying, I ain't got to listen to you, mom. I ain't got to listen to you, dad. You're not my mama. You're not my daddy. To their authority figure. If the parent now says, you know what? Now I got to punish you physically. Oh, now he's abusing her. She's abusing her child, right? Yo, what type of sense that make? Now, if you guys will whip your children who you're bigger than, who you're older than, when they blatantly disrespect you, how are you going to tell a person that they can't yell back at a person, cuss a person back out when they disrespect them because they're smaller? To me, these people like to create rules so they can be protected, but they'll disrespect the shit out of you, though. That's crazy to me.
Constantly tells her, which he told me, and he said it over and over during our interview. I had to go back and watch that, and I was like, if this is what he was saying to her over the years, as a woman, I would probably crack somewhere too, right? Because she's already traumatized, and then you're reminding her every day that inadvertently that she's somewhat low value, or she should be appreciative that, you know, I put you on this pedestal. I'm taking care of your children. You did not have a platform before you met me. All of these things, right? And so it's like you go into childlike mode trying to prove yourself that you're better. So even though it was fucked up, and I understood, you know, because I put myself in her shoes, like, why would she go to the extreme of trying to break him down? It's because she's trying to scream out to prove not only to herself, but to people who have traumatized her in the past, and even the public's perception that I am somebody, I am of value, despite me having.
Now, let's say that's true. Let's say my brother belittled her every day and made her feel undervalued to the point that she didn't have any self-worth. So she takes to social media to break him down because this is her only way now to earn her value back, to show that she's worth something. Let's say that's true. Should he go back to her? I think he should see that as, yo, I fucked up. Ain't no fixing that. If it got to that point, ain't no way ain't going back because she literally up there destroying me, even if I deserved it. So let's say a man feels these same ways in a relationship, undervalued, feels like she belittles him, feel like she always talking down.
Okay. Now it may be buying her things, taking her places, but that's what he knew to do. That's what she asked for.
Okay, family, I'm back. All right. So what he should say is, I do a lot for you and the family, and it hurts when my efforts are met with criticism rather than appreciation. Instead of saying, I take care of the kids, I do this, I do that, you should be grateful. But these are the same things, family. Okay? So there's a need for recognition, obviously, in that statement. In any relationship, feeling unappreciated is very crucial. When someone, be it a man or a woman, feels like their efforts are going unnoticed or unacknowledged, it can lead to frustration. Expressing this frustration is a way of saying, I need you to see what I do for you and our family. It's a plea for recognition, not an attempt to manipulate or abuse. And if you're seeing it that way, you could be the problem in this communication, family, because you're not hearing what your partner said. Instead, you're feeling attacked by what they're saying. Now, I'm going to give you a parallel scenario. I did this earlier, but if you're just coming on, consider a woman who is helping her partner raise his 3 children, managing the household while he's at work. After a long day, he comes home and immediately points out that she hasn't done something, like maybe the dishes hadn't been done or washed. Maybe the bed is not being made. Maybe she might understandably feel frustrated if he's coming home and finding stuff wrong. Her response might be, come on, baby, give me a break. I'm taking care of the children. I'm making sure they eat, dress, and do their homework. It feels like I can't do anything right. It feels like all you see is the things I didn't do. And this isn't abuse. It's her expressing that she feels unappreciated or overwhelmed. Now, I'm sure you ladies get that. I bet when you hear it this way from the woman, it ain't abuse no more, is it? It's actually abuse for him coming home finding all that shit wrong, ain't it? This is how you guys are biased as shit. If he say the same shit, it's abuse. But if you say it, oh, there's a reason. And this is why your relationship probably gonna be fucked up. Because he got a heart too. He human too. He matter too. That's just like talking about your man's penis size. Y'all think that shit is cool. I heard a woman the other day get on her platform and say, her man is no mandingo. He's an average size man. Yo. Men on here, if your wife got on a public platform and said, you're no mandingo, you're actually average in size, how would that make you feel as a man? I'm gonna ask you just a question. Ladies, if your man got on a platform and said, it ain't like she got no wet or that wop or nothing, it's average. It ain't like she can ride that motherfucker like crazy or nothing. She just average. How would y'all feel, family? This is absolutely asinine to me. Men are so disrespected. Men are denigrated at every turn and expected not to care about this, okay? It's nobody's business if your husband is average size or mandingo or small. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why would you think that's okay to say about your own husband? You're supposed to protect him too. He's protecting you, but okay, so your wife's supposed to be your partner. She's supposed to walk by your side. This means you protect her from the left, she protects you from the right. But here's your wife. He average in size. She stepped out the way and just said, yo, he actually average. He ain't no mandingo. Yo, just the same, she could have said, he a mandingo. Why the hell are you sitting here talking about he average? And how would you know who average is? How do you know what average is? How you a connoisseur? What you're saying is you got a lot of experience. You done seen a lot of peckers. Enough to say who average. What if he is a mandingo and some other guy was just mandingo? You calling this man average. No man wanting to hear that. I saw a post the other day where the dude was mad as shit because the woman said, yours is perfect. The big one's hurt. He's over there mad as hell. Like she don't know how to talk to her man. What she just said is so deteriorating to him. He'd rather be the one that hurt than the one that's perfect size. You cutting at his ego all day long. That's like telling a woman, like, man, your butt okay. The big ones, it's hard to move around. The big ones stink. The big ones is something like now she, oh, so I don't have a big ass. It's just all right, oh, okay. That's all she heard. If you look on social media, family, if you look on regular TV, it's became okay to talk about the size matter. That conversation alone is just so foul, man. It's so foul. And this is why you see the industry of penis pills and enlargement pills and things like that going so high, because they got men thinking that they're not acceptable if their penis is a certain size when they didn't make themselves. Nowhere are you seeing people ask men, does size matter when it comes to her breast size or her butt size? Because that would be seen as you being superficial to the point of disrespect, man. And that's literally what it is. It's abuse. Got men everywhere questioning themselves, measuring their damn penis to see if they all right. And no woman would like a world where men can just sit down on a panel and talk about the size matter. And so that would mean flat asses aren't acceptable, but big asses is acceptable. That have every woman out here getting up under the damn knife. But it don't matter how you treat men. They can take it, right? They're not human. Fuck them, right? And I'm going to tell you something, ladies. When you go talk about a man's penis size, guess what? They hit it anyway. They hit it anyway. So shut up. You sitting here talking about his penis size. Yo, he didn't say he had to please you. Either way, he GTD. He got the draws regardless. So shut up. That's crazy to me. This man got the draws. Now you want to complain about his penis size. How you know? Because he hit it, didn't he? He won. He hit. You can talk about my dick size. I hit it. Hey, I was in there. What you talking about? Oh, my thing was small for years. Oh, okay. Hey, I was hitting it for years. You mad? It's crazy, yo. Saw this video where the girl kept telling the dude, like, you ain't hitting on nothing. I don't even feel you when you in there. Treating him just completely tearing the man down. And he like, man, you gonna talk to me like that? She said, I'm sick of it, yo. What he should have said was, yo, you realize you can only make that complaint because I hit it, right? So shut up. I don't care what you think of it. I got mine and I'm good. Does this make sense, family? But anyway, back to what I was saying. In both scenarios, it involves a partner trying to assert their value within the relationship. Just speaking on the fact of, I take care of you and the kids and you seem ungrateful. All these types of things are seen as abuse. But in both of these scenarios, with a woman's voice and her value and a man's voice and his, they're essentially saying, I'm contributing a lot to our lives together, and it feels hurtful when my contributions are overlooked or minimized. This is a natural human reaction when someone feels like they are giving a lot but receiving little acknowledgement in return. So don't make their response abusive. Okay, when you complaining wasn't abusive, them responding to it by asserting their value is not abusive, family. That's crazy. The importance of communication, instead of viewing these expressions as abusive, it's more constructive to see them as opportunities for deeper communication and understanding of your partners. These moments highlight the need for both partners to feel valued and appreciated. The key is to respond to these frustrations with empathy and understanding rather than defensiveness or further criticisms. Jamie, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to say, baby, you never take me out no more. You never show me attention anymore. And I want you to imagine, I just came home from work, right? I'm tired. Boss been on me all day, okay? I'm tired, right? I want you to say that to me real quick. Just, you ain't got to get in front of the camera. Just tell me that. I never take you out anymore. I never show you attention. It's been 6 months since I took you out.
You never take me out anymore. You never show me attention. It's been 6 months and you never do anything.
Man, do you know how much I'm going through at work? You see me working all these hours overtime. You need to recognize that I'm doing all these things for our family. And when I come home, I got to hear you complaining about how often I take you out. Man, I'm sick of this shit. I'll be home in a little while. See how I didn't hear anything that you said? And I'm blaming you for bringing me complaints while I'm going through something instead of hearing that you want to spend time with me, man. Now, in that moment, you sounded angry, right? This time I want you to sound really sad, but say the same thing. Baby, you never take me out anymore.
Babe, you never take me out anywhere. We don't do anything. It's been 6 months.
Damn, babe. Don't you see me trying? Don't you realize everything I'm doing is for the family? And these last 6 months, haven't we been struggling financially? This is why I'm working all this overtime. Taking you out will require me to spend more money that I don't have. You should be grateful. See, I still didn't actually hear you, did I? Now pretend you heard me. Baby, I do understand that you have to work all these hours. You're absolutely right. Forgive me for making that an issue. Neither one of us got what we needed there. So what should happen is, if you say the thing you said and I say the thing I said, both of us should have an understanding for each other. Even though I'm working all these hours, you still want to spend time with me, right? So what I could say is, hey, baby, what I could say is, let's set a date then. Now watch this, guys. Watch this. Same complaint. Come to me absolutely upset, right? You never spend time with me. It's been 6 months since you even took me out, right? I feel like I'm not even noticed. Say that to me.
It's been 6 months since you ever took me out. We don't do anything. And oh my gosh.
You know what, baby? I understand. How about we set a date? Right now, funds ain't where they should be because I'm trying to work extra so we can cover these bills. It's tough times. But maybe we can go out to a picnic or something like that doesn't cost money. How does that sound to you? Okay, let's set a date and let's go out and have a good time. And I apologize if I haven't been paying attention to you. I just been overwhelmed with a lot on my mind. Now, that same thing, because two people know how to communicate, or at least one person does, it leads to something that's effective, family. So when I say you guys need to learn how to communicate with each other, you really do. That could be the difference in between life and death of your relationship. Do you understand? If somebody's complaining about you taking them out, what they're trying to say is, I miss you and I want to spend time with you. Now watch this. Jamie, instead of saying you never spend time with me, it's been 6 months since I saw you. Instead, I want you to say, hey, babe, I really miss our times going out. I felt on top of the world. I felt noticed and seen. I would like to do that again soon. Can we set a date? Try that.
Hey, babe, I really miss our time going out. I enjoy spending time with you. I enjoy our dates. Can we set a time to go out and do something?
You know what? Absolutely. I miss you too. Yeah, I love setting those. I love doing that. I guess time got away from me because I've been working so much. But yeah, now you saying that, man, I actually miss that too. So yeah, let's set a day. How about I have to work. I've been having to work every weekend. But how about on Tuesday? They've been giving me Tuesdays off. You want to go out and do something on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Boom. Now listen, going to your partner critically may bring the worst out of them. But just going to them and saying actually what it is that you need and being vulnerable may bring the best out of them. So your goal as a husband or wife is to motivate your partner and inspire them to want to do something for you, not make them feel guilty for failing to do something for you. So it's all about how you go to them, family. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? The importance of communication. Instead of viewing these expressions as abusive, it's more constructive to see them as opportunities for deeper communication. These moments highlighted a need for both partners to feel valued and appreciated. The key is to respond to these situations with empathy and understanding rather than defensiveness or further criticism. Distinguishing between abuse and frustration. Abuse is characterized by, listen at this now. Abuse is characterized by control, manipulation, and an intent to demean or hurt the other person. I'm gonna say that shit again. Because some of you don't know what abuse is. You think when somebody accidentally says something to hurt you, they're abusing you. No, intent matters. Was it malicious? Is this person doing what they're doing just to stress your ass out? So while you talking to them, they ignoring you. This is on purpose, just to stress you out. While you're talking, they over talking you. Blah, blah, blah. I ain't got to listen to you. This is abuse, family. You fat. You don't look like you used to look. This is abuse. You're trying to hurt, man. But if you go to your husband and say, listen, baby, I think you've been letting yourself go. I'm noticing that your health isn't where it was. I really need you to get back on your walks. You was doing better when you were doing that. That ain't abusive. But if she go, man, you really done got fat. You don't never even take care of yourself. When the last time you shaved? Yo, that's crazy. Abuse is characterized by control, manipulation, and an intent to demean or hurt the other person. However, voicing frustration about feeling unappreciated does not inherently fall into this category. It's essential to distinguish the difference in between a partner expressing their need for recognition and an abusive partner who seeks to control or belittle. Does this make sense, family? So in a situation where you hear a phone call in the car where a person's saying, you just mad because you don't feel about your spot. You feel like somebody else got your spot. You mad when a person's saying, why are you talking to this guy? Why are you posting this guy on your social media? This person that you go to his church, why are you doing all of this? Instead of saying, baby, how does this make you feel? Well, it makes me feel like you putting somebody over me, like you showing somebody else attention and affection. Well, I certainly don't want you to feel that way. I was only, promoting the man because I feel that he's really helped me a lot in some situations. She's not saying that. You just mad because you worried about your spot. You mad because this is intentional, family. You trying to reason with your partner, and all they doing is poking at you. Hey, babe, can you not wear that? I don't want everybody looking at you, like a sex object. Can you put on something a little bit less revealing? You just insecure. If you can't handle me, if you're going to try to change me, then don't get with me. What? Honey, when we go out, a woman talking to her man, honey, when we go out, can you not stare at other women? Too many times I look at you and I see you just staring at other women. I think it's embarrassing. It makes me feel like I'm not beautiful enough to maintain your attention. And it makes me feel like, what do you do when I'm not around? Because even around me, you ogling other women. Yo, I can look where I want to look. Looking ain't touching. You just insecure. It's other beautiful women other than you. Quit being insecure. Yo, that's abuse. You invalidating your partner's feelings, trying to make them feel like something's wrong with them for having standards or feelings, family. So if a man said, hey, babe, listen, can you put on a little bit more clothes? I don't want you to go out revealing your body so much. I hate seeing guys just staring at you like they want to do something to you. If she goes, yo, I'm going to wear what I want to wear. What if he goes, well, I'm going to look where I want to look. So if you're okay with dudes looking at you like they want to fuck, when a girl walk by dressed like you dressed, I'm going to look at her like I want to fuck. And I don't care how you feel about it, because you don't care if people look at you, so you shouldn't care how I look at other people. If you don't care how you go out looking, you shouldn't care how I go out looking. Now it's two couples in a relationship going out, really attacking each other. She got on a little something, and he looking at any woman who got on a little something. She walked by, he turned his whole head, lick his lips. Damn. Now she mad. Now don't be mad. You ain't mad when that other man looked at you the same exact way. Now this is two people saying, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do since you're doing what you want to do. That shit ain't going to work. Anyway, family, in both scenarios, whether a man feels underappreciated for taking care of his partner and her children, or a woman who feels unappreciated by the partner's focus on what she has been doing, the underlying issue is a need for appreciation and acknowledgement, not abuse. Okay, so these expressions of frustration should not be immediately labeled as abusive. Instead, family, these expressions of frustrations, they should be seen as calls for more balanced recognition and a communication within the relationship. Just as it would be understandable for a woman in the second scenario to express her frustration when her efforts go unnoticed, it's equally valid for the man in the first scenario to do so. Both partners are fighting for their value, seeking reassurance to their contributions are seen and unappreciated. The solution lies in open communication, empathetic communication, where both partners acknowledge each other's efforts and work together to ensure that their relationship is built on mutual respect. If you guys would have come to my couples retreat, I got, I think, 5 spots available now. You're going to see we're going to do a lot of role playing like this, where you guys learn how to respond to each other effectively to motivate them to want to do good by you. But if you're trying to make somebody, you're trying to punk somebody into doing right by you, it's never going to work, family. You're not going to make that woman do something. And ladies, you're not going to make that man do shit either. You should have a soft voice and speak to them in a way that makes them want to do something for you, man. Going to them with a whole bunch of complaints only pushes people away from you. Please understand that. And that's why your relationship might be struggling, because the things that you need, they hold weight. They're real, but the way you're going about it is totally wrong. And that's abuse. You're misusing a person. You should go to them with respect and be vulnerable. I was telling somebody the other day, I saw a video where a woman got on her knees to tell her man during the wedding, she says, I completely submit to you. She says, I completely submit to you. I vow to be a wife who supports you, protects you, lifts you up. She's doing all this from her knees, right? I looked in the comments. It's women who are furious. Girl, get up off your damn knees. Don't get on your knees for no man. It's girls saying he for sure gonna mistreat you now, the fact that you did that. But these things ain't true when he get on his knees, y'all. So here's what I said to that person. Women nowadays are so invulnerable, but that makes them sex objects. These women today will get on their knees to suck you off before they'll get on their knees and confess their love for you. And that's fucking ludicrous. That's her saying, I ain't but a sex object. Never will I get on my knees to pour into you and lift you up, but I get on my knees to suck you off. Yo, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. People today are broken, bro. He can get on his knees and confess his love to you, even though he's stronger than you. He can bow himself down and say, I love you, will you marry me? But you couldn't. And this is what I told that brother. I said, if they flip tradition, if the tradition where the woman had to get on her knees instead of the man, marriage would be done. And women would not want it anymore. It'd be done. So if you just simply change the tradition of marriage, the ritual of marriage, and now she's on her knees instead of him, no woman would want marriage. Which tells you that, yo, it tells you a lot. Let's continue.
And she's still complaining. This man is now saying, let me put my value on the table. I do this for you. I do that for you. This isn't him rubbing it in her face. See, it's really difficult dealing with what I call an emotional terrorizer. Okay. You can try to explain to them your value, but it will come off as insulting them. So if you say, I do all this, and you're still ungrateful, to her, I'm ungrateful. It's another thing I'm doing wrong. He has to literally tell you, I'm taking care of your kids. He has to say that. Whenever she's sitting here and she's emotional terrorizing, creating toxic, or just literally letting these toxic ideas that come to her mind, and she's building on them, she's sitting here thinking about how bad of a person he is. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. He's not doing this. I believe a good person, not even a good wife, but a good person, remind themselves of all the things that he is doing. Okay, he's came into my life and he's given me a much better life. He's not cheating on me. He is a great father to my children. My sons get to see an example of a hardworking man. No, he isn't the example that my father was to me, an in-home father, but he is a great father nonetheless. Now, there are men out here who go off and be in the military and they die for this country. And we see that as great for giving your life for this country. I see it as cannon fodder. Okay? This man is being used to die for rich people. But the wife praises that. And when he dies, they bring him home a nicely folded blanket and he becomes a hero or flag. And he's a hero. But Robert, because he's created his own life and he doesn't have to go to work for somebody, now him going to work is neglecting her. He's been a workaholic. That's how he amassed all this platform and the wealth. So she
might I add, this is his dream too. So ladies, when you say he asked her to do something opposite of her dream, do you know how many times we as husbands give up on our dreams for our family and legacy? How many men you see used to want to be a rapper, an actor, some type of profession like that, singer, but now that he has a family, he got to go to work, man. And that's what he'll do for his family. Family over everything. But I'm not convinced that going into nursing was her dream. Okay, if it was, then he should have let her do that. But even if it was and he didn't let her do that, he still doesn't deserve to have his name ran through the mud and treated that way. Just like she didn't deserve that because she thought he shouldn't go and do his business. So whatever issues you guys have in a relationship is between you and that person. It's not between you and the public. Does this make sense? Hang on, let me see what somebody's saying here. Yeah, someone mentioned framing my brother. Again, this is someone who was too invested in a situation, but still criticizing me for being too invested. But I'm my brother's brother, and I have yet to frame her for anything, just so my brother could be right. So I do believe that while they're criticizing me for being too invested, they're the ones, in fact, that's too invested and have no real reason to be because they don't even know this person at all, have never met this person in real life, but yet has went as far as to destroy their own character. One of the ladies used to be in the military, says she was a high-ranking officer, and she has yet to realize that she is an embarrassment to this entire country because you are out here meddling in civilians' life, destroying their relationships and trying to destroy even more. Trying to destroy people's reputations of people that you don't even know. You would expect more from a high-ranking soldier that was in the military. At some point, you're going to have to step up and be a better person, man. And then the same person talks about age gaps when you are, you're more than 11 years my senior, but you on here disrespecting me. But you're saying that Robert is 11 years her senior. So he should, this stuff is mind blowing. You're the oldest person in the whole saga. You have all this military background, supposed to have all this high ranking experience, but you are the one with the lowest character, the lowest standards, will do and say anything about anybody at any time and then justify it with, well, I admitted it. And then this person will paint a narrative on you. You say something, she said that ain't what you meant something else. But this person will say the only reason I framed that man, okay, was because I didn't want her to look bad. And the reason I came clean about it is because I felt guilty. And then they'll go on to explain that here's the process of them feeling guilty. Number one, it took her to go live and say her ex was a monster. Now I feel guilty. So since she said he was a monster, let me go ahead and get this guilt off my chest. That ain't how guilt works. Guilt works by, you don't need anything to be a catalyst for you relieving your guilt. You would have just got up there and said, listen, y'all, I did some things that was wrong. So let me tell you what you're thinking now, since you like to tell everybody else what they're thinking, okay? You wasn't thinking about relieving your guilt. Since we get to paint on each other, let me paint on you for a minute. Here's what you was thinking. You was thinking, let me get ahead of this story. Oh, she just said he's a monster. I know a lot about this relationship. So before she goes public with it, let me get on my platform since I'm money hungry and attention hungry. Let me tell the story before her. This should get me a lot of views and earn me a lot of money. That's one scenario. Here's my second scenario since we painting on each other. You never stop talking to this girl. In fact, here's what happened. Around the time this big public apology was made, right, where everybody's brought on that platform, here's what was actually going on. Hey, listen, let's pretend that we're no longer working together. Let's pretend that I'm, off on my own, AWOL, if you will, since she's in the military, right? Because we don't want them going to court saying that you're connected to me in any way. So let's relieve you of having any association with me by me saying I'm no longer dealing with her. She told me to mind my business. But we're still actually cool. And so when the situation broke down between her and her new man, now she gets activated and told, let's go ahead and get him now. So now she hops on her platform and disguises telling on him with getting rid of her guilt. See how that works? Since we painting on each other, right? Here's my third scenario. You were scared because you've already used the photo and said my brother did it. You felt like, well, if she gonna go public on him, she's probably going to expose that he's the one did that, making me look dumb as hell for saying that he's the one did that. So let me go ahead and get ahead of it and relieve myself before she actually exposes this man fully and then I get caught up in it. Now, here's another scenario too. You're still doing it. Even though you've admitted to doing it, out of your own damn mouth, you've admitted to doing it. Here's what you're also doing. You're still doing it. You're still actually doing it. Just the other day, I heard somebody say, Naya said he choked her. You got on there and agreed with that. That was the first attempt to frame him. This was only being said after text message revealed that she was being choked in her current relationship. Now this person hops up there and says, well, he choked her one day and I had to break it up. Okay, this woman has been sitting right beside her, his ex, this whole entire time and has never raised this issue. In fact, the main person in the scenario, the wife, had plenty of opportunities to say, he choked me in front of Naya. Never once has she even stated this. So you would think in one of those videos where she's sitting there talking about her experience with Naya in the background, you think Naya at some point would say, remember the time he choked you in front of me and I had to break it up and he almost choked me too? This has never been said. It's only being said once it was revealed that she was going through similar things in her own relationship. So for you to sit up there, military woman, for you to sit up there and act like that was a real scenario still, not the first attempt to frame him, because yours was the second. And I'm sure you're aware that that was the first. It shows you're still doing it. For you to get on your platform and still attack my brother and his current girlfriend is still showing that you are still too invested and you're still doing it. Even the other day when you reviewed my video, you started insulting me, my wives, and all these things. Calling me a scammer, anything anybody else has called me out of anger with no proof, because they're not true, you reiterated on your panel. All because you didn't agree with what I said, man. You're immature. You have a low competence level because you cannot articulate why you disagree with something. You just go to yelling and screaming and insulting. And it's cool because you have a whole platform of people who are there for that. I don't think they care about the truth. I think they see it as just simply entertainment. So they will allow you to do whatever you want to with no repercussions. But you should be bigger than that. As someone who has all this experience, as someone who is older in age, you shouldn't be representing yourself this way. Even if you got an echo chamber that seems to agree with everything you do, right or wrong, you should be smart enough to realize that you're wrong. I heard you say the other day that she did a back to school thing where she didn't give the money to the people that it was supposed to be given to. So she got this money for a back to school thing. Okay. And she named names that she gave the money to, but she made these names up. She took names and first names and last names and swapped them up, but she didn't give the money to them. Actually, she gave it to the people who was working with her to destroy my brother's image or to protect her image. However you want to look at it. They call themselves headquarters. This name, I believe they got from me because I said I called it Lie Headquarters. So I think they just took that. That sounds good. Let's call ourselves headquarters, right? So here's what a scam is, military lady. When you tell people that you're going to use money for something else and instead use it for a different reason, that makes that scamming. See, when I said I needed help with my supplies, I was telling the truth. I used that money for my supplies. I didn't use it to pay people and do other stuff with it. When she said we're doing a back to school thing and we're going to give these women this money so they can use it for their school supplies, and instead she gave it to y'all, that was a scam. And you just admitted that on your platform like it's okay. You are a detriment to this young lady. And you should step off because you are making her look worse and worse and worse. Question for you. Simple question. If you can say that Lupac is messy because she shared an opinion with someone else that she trusted at the time, how are you not messy when you shared your opinion with someone that was literally on the other side? Now, I want you guys to imagine this. Two lawyers, okay? One lawyer is the defense lawyer, right? The other lawyer is the prosecuting lawyer, okay? The prosecuting lawyer goes to the defense lawyer and says, this person scams. This person punched him in the face one time. This person did all these terroristic things to him. You've just thwarted your own case by giving the defense truths that they wouldn't otherwise know. You would be a horrible attorney and you would be jeopardizing your own case, ma'am. Can you guys hear me? It looked like it froze up. Let's take another scenario, okay? Where you got two defense attorneys talking amongst each other, and one of them is sharing things with their fellow defense attorney, okay? That the person they're representing has done some things they disagree with. They're sharing this with a person that they feel they can trust. That's nowhere near the same thing as the things that you've done, ma'am. So I don't gather how you can see one side but not the other. And notice the things I just said. I never disrespected you. I didn't talk about your looks, your family, your husband, your children, none of these things. But when you respond to me, you're going to tear me down. You're going to insult. You're going to say every negative thing that you can say in an attempt to hurt me or hurt my character. And that's how you move, because you refuse to grow up. And you're older than all these people, setting a horrible example. Meanwhile, you're telling someone else to be a man, be a leader because he's a man, as if women shouldn't have any standards for how they carry themselves. You, as a military official, high-ranking official in the military, should have some type of standard in how you move about. But currently, the way you've been moving about is a complete embarrassment to the U.S. military in everything. It really is, family. But that being said, I'll save that for a day that I actually respond to you for real, with saying your name. But I will never I'll never say your name, because what happens is, our larger platforms, we end up giving you, giving people a reason to come listen to that bull jive. And I don't think any of us should. I think because you've already admitted, even though lies was being revealed anyway that you've told, because you've already admitted that you went as far as to frame my brother for something he didn't do, no one should give a damn about what you say. You have no credibility. You have zero credibility. Zero. You think you still do because you admitted it, but you do not. You do not. You don't. If I admitted to a murder, if I admitted to framing someone to the police and say, can I go home now because I admitted it? They're going to say, no, there's a level of accountability to the act that you just did. Well, you did that same act, love. Maybe you should consider that and not say, well, I prayed about it. God good with me, so I'm good. Or my people was okay with it, so I'm good. No, I stepped away from this because of how I was responding. It was beneath my character, so I stepped away from it all. I didn't say, even though I've had negative behavior, I admitted my negative behavior, but I'm still going to stay on this case. That's crazy, man. There was a level of accountability to my behavior, and it was for me to step away totally because I haven't represented myself well. And if I haven't represented myself well, I haven't represented my family well. And if what I'm doing is to protect my family, and I'm not representing it well with my behavior, then I'm in fact doing myself a disservice and my family a disservice. So I got to step back because I'm not handling myself right. You haven't either. I know tonight your show will be all about me, and it'll be, the same shit you did the other day. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. We're not going to go much longer. It's going to be a part 2 to this, obviously. But let's see what else she's saying. Let's see if there's anything I want to rebuttal before I hop off. Let's go.
Into his life because she says, okay, this is a capable man, capable of leading me and my family, because if it's not that, you shouldn't have married. So if you trust him to do that, why wouldn't you allow him to do that? He's already successful. He's proven himself by making you successful. You're now in a situation that you likely wouldn't have been in. She wanted to continue nursing. He talked her out of it. They argued about that. Here's what I'm saying.
I didn't have it figured out, so I was working in the meantime.
But you knew in your heart, like,
You see what I'm saying? So whenever he mentioned to it'd be better for the family if you don't put in all those hours, and she wasn't working at the time. He was saying that it'd be better that you don't go back to work.
So to this subject right here, family.
If he left me, I'll be fine.
Okay, listen, guys, to this subject right here on her nursing or going or doing what he asked in terms of making money together. This is what I'm going to say. If you have dreams, let that be known before you actually get married, because it would suck to marry somebody and now tell them you have dreams that would directly be contentious to the things that he or she's trying to do. Does that make any sense, family? So before you get married, make sure that you make it clear what it is you're trying to do, what you want to do, so you can make sure you guys are compatible. Because if you're not doing that and the other person doesn't have a clear understanding on what that is, you're going to have issues. And that's what this underlines, okay? But everybody's failing to understand that she did follow his advice eventually, and it was beneficial because she is in a situation that she wouldn't likewise be in without him. You see what I'm saying? And I'll even give this to her. Her coming alongside of him actually helped him to establish himself personally to his public. His other page, he actually used his other page, the 8 million follower page, helping other people's dreams come true. It was like a world star hip hop. So people didn't actually know him as well as they could have known him because he dedicated his platform to showing other people's gifts. So because he has this really large platform, he could take somebody's video who might have got 12 views and put them on his platform, and now they're worldwide known because of his platform. World Star does the same thing. If you make it the World Star, people are probably going to know who you are now. Okay, but you don't know who owns World Star. You don't know these people or anything like that. So what she was actually able to do with him was to help him establish himself publicly with his crowd. Them doing the couple videos and things of that nature helped really get them both out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Couples should work together to grow. So when you guys criticize him because you say she brought more to your platform, or when you criticize her by saying he gave you his platform to build off of, these things should happen in a relationship, family. Now, me personally, my platform has always been me teaching, me talking about me and how I see the world. I've never had a platform similar to his. So publicly, people have always known who I was. It didn't take me being married for them to understand who I was. In fact, me getting married hurt my platform. I imagine that a lot of women wanted to be my wife. And so whenever I got married, they kind of fell back, or they was upset with the idea of poly and how that made them feel. So they fell off a little bit. But I got way more reactions and things like that when I was a single man making my videos. You understand? But either way, I can see benefits to her being in his life on his side. I can see benefits to him being in her life on her side. Okay. So I think that they had a great chemistry as far as working together online, which helps to blow up their platform. And I also think that that chemistry is kind of why people are still so invested, because many people actually idolize their relationship. But that goes to show that him being with her for a total of 6 years, he was still able to make that look good. But the current situation wasn't doing good from the very beginning. She didn't need to tell us that he was mistreating her. She didn't need to tell us that he was immature and would not really, love her the way he should. We saw that demonstrated on the actual live cameras. Somebody said I was taking a shot at her the other day when I said he wouldn't even eat her food. I was not taking a shot at her. If a person does that much for you and they offer you food on camera and you sitting here acting like the food is nasty, that's disrespectful as hell. It is. It's disrespectful as hell. And this is not to say that he didn't go through things in that relationship either, because we can see by her actions that he likely did. But I'm just speaking on the fact of one relationship don't equal another. So if anybody's saying, well, she deserved that because of what she did to the last man, that's not true. If you lose a relationship because you're the one that fucked up, you should go into your next one not making those same mistakes. And that other person should treat you like you treating them in that particular relationship. And he failed to do that. You see what I'm saying? So while both people might have different sides that both people may have done things wrong, and we can understand that, you know what I mean? You still have to look at it and say, damn, bro, this girl was out here doing all of this and you wouldn't even fucking play along on the camera, bro. Like you was embarrassing her every step of the way. I saw one video, he didn't even want to give her no damn cover at the airport or some shit. So I seen a lot of different situations where I was like, damn, he mistreating the hell out of her. Guys, that's mental and that's mental abuse. That's emotional abuse. You would see her kind of give this corny sounding laugh. You can tell when someone's being insulted and they try to laugh it off, you can tell it's not a genuine laugh. She's actually humiliated, but she's trying to laugh it off. You understand? That's crazy. That's abuse, man. I always tell my children, if someone insults you and you don't like what they just said, don't laugh. Hold a straight face. You laughing at insults is why you're continuously being insulted. 99% of what happens to you is because you allow it. So if somebody's insulting you, don't pretend you don't realize you're being insulted and laugh it off in some nervousness. No. Hold a straight face so they can see what they just did wasn't cool at all. But you can see in those situations, she was still trying to protect him. He literally disrespecting her, and she's trying to laugh it off. That's mental abuse. He's publicly doing this, y'all. So you got to understand, if she don't do good with anger, when she get off that live, she's probably not going to do good with anger, but her anger is actually justified right there because look how he's treating her. But you don't see this on the other side with the person before that. He loved her on camera. He represented her well on camera. Let's be real. Think about this. And then you can realize that if she's currently saying that he abused her, that new guy abused her, but she's kind of wanting him to come back in her life, this is a detriment waiting to happen because he may have found himself in a situation where he couldn't handle her maybe toxic responses to his behavior. And he may have done some things he's never done before. She said he hit her. Maybe he did. I wasn't there. I don't know. But if he did, he should get out of that situation because the worst came out of him and he could have ruined his own life or reputation, freedom and all, by reacting in that moment. So he should say, yeah, I can't handle the type of arguments that we go through. I can't handle it because I became a worse person. And she should say, the option of hitting is there. I'm no longer going to deal with this person. But the sheer fact that it seems like she's waiting for him to come back is just unhealthy. You should not go back to an abusive person. And the people who care about her should say, no, don't do that. And I know it sucks because if she is pregnant, okay, she'll probably have to sit down for a while. Another man probably won't come along for a while simply because of the situation. But that's good because you should spend those first years nurturing your babies. And during that time, seek healing. So when you go back into your next relationship, you're not taking the pain, the frustration, and all those things back into the next one. And it is going to suck being alone for a while, but it's going to pay off. And your children is going to have you in a way they never had you before. So dedicate your life and your time to your children and become a better mother and a better woman overall. And that way your next situation can be healthier. But if I were her, I would not seek going back into a relationship with that guy, even though it gives her an active father in her life. If it means, unless they get some serious counseling, guys, it's dangerous for them both, okay? Because if she hasn't healed enough to be able to respond in a way that's not toxic, and he is not, he doesn't have the temperament to deal with a toxic woman, he gonna hit her again. She gonna do something to him or say something in some type of way that's gonna provoke something. He's gonna do something wrong to her because if he don't work on how he treats women, or whatever the case may be, it's gonna create more problems. So if he seems that he can't be loyal, be faithful, and these things bother you to the point of lashing out, and then he hits, whatever the case may be, that's a relationship that really should end. So many people are saying, well, you do it for the kids, but not everything you do for these kids. Some things you do so your kids can have a better life. And sometimes that means separating yourself from a person, family. Okay. I'm not going to continue anymore today. I've been going for 3 hours. If you guys want to see the part 2, we'll do another part 2. I'll let you guys know throughout the day or whatever when the next one's going to be. But I appreciate your time. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. But remember, people are saying in this video that I'm making no sense, okay? That I'm just being manipulative, that I'm just talking to hear myself talk. They're looking at my wives wondering why they're not talking when they weren't there to talk, to speak on that situation. If my wives are speaking on that situation, right, y'all would have a problem with that. But they're not. So y'all they doing? Carrie said, you're making a lot of sense. Thank you so much, love. You know, but again, my wives have to sit up on that platform with me, okay? They're not going to input in this conversation. That wouldn't be good or healthy. And you guys are criticizing how they holding their hands, how they holding their eyes. If one look to the left, if one look down or look up. If you're doing all that, you're not going to hear what I'm saying. You're not even going to hear what she's saying. So I even doubt that you guys even heard this conversation, man. And again, it really points to your intellect. So everybody want to be smart, but they're not actually they're not actually proving themselves to be an intelligent person. If you notice, not once have I insulted someone's looks, talked about their family, lied on them. Not once have I done those things. But when you see people respond to me in this video, they're going to do all of that. I'm going to be gay, broke, a serial cheater, a scammer, a bad dad. I'm going to be everything that they can come up with because their attempt is to try and hurt my feelings or my family's feelings or hurt my reputation or disqualify me from being valid or I should say invalidate me by any means necessary. Do you understand, family? And what I want all of you guys to remember, if you ever see that, is the person that's doing that has zero credibility. They've represented their character in the worst ways, and no one should allow their emotions to be swayed by a person like that. In the beginning, I didn't know who this person was. I don't know if she's respectable or not. I don't know if she believes what she's saying or not. But now, since those things have been revealed, this person simply shouldn't matter to any of you. Any of you. And as soon as you guys learn, don't respond to anything she does on her platform, nor go listen to it, you guys will forever be caught up in the charade that is her. She'll never learn her lesson because to her, seeing numbers and getting cash apps is success. She doesn't care how she goes about it. So to her, as long as she's making a check, as long as people are watching her lives, she sees that as success. So when you guys go to hear what she has to say and then make a video about what she has to say, you're only helping to build her up. People like that should be ignored. Once somebody cries wolf, when they cry wolf, the village people should stay in their beds, sleeping cozy. They should not leave out with their pitchforks anymore to go find this wolf. Nor should they go out to argue with the person who crying wolf to say, you're a liar, because guess what? You still not getting no sleep. You still up. You might as well go look for the damn wolf. That's less frustrating than arguing with a liar about the damn wolf. Because here you are saying you done lied about a wolf 20 times. You're lying. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. No, you're not. Nah, yeah. No, you're not. No, you're not. You might as well just go look for the damn wolf. That's less frustrating than arguing with a liar. But what you really should do is just stay in your bed and sleep. Wolf, a wolf, everybody, a wolf. If a wolf get them, let them be a meal, family. Do you make sense? Did that make sense to y'all? No, I ain't talking about Tasha K right now. I'm talking about the military woman who's trying to be Tasha K. You understand? She said this out of her own mouth. I want to be the next Tasha K. Let me tell you something, love. If you were to get an offer by some, entertainment industry, some major television network, because you do actually have a voice that's easy to listen to. You are actually entertaining. So if someone was to look out for you and say, hey, I'd like for you to host my show, the day this happens, you become a public figure, now people are going to actually care about your character. They don't care right now. So you seem to get away with all of this. But I want you to imagine a world where you become a success on the big screen. You do know all these things that you have done were surface, right? Just like you guys tried to say I called a black woman a B and play it everywhere, and it actually did affect me. The same way you can be played calling somebody's mother a hoe that's passed on, or asserting that she is a hoe somehow, by talking about people's children, by faking abuse, framing abuse. All these things will surface, and you will never be on anybody's platform. They could not afford to have you. Imagine if Steve Harvey, Whoopi Goldberg, any of these people with a name for themselves on a public platform has done these things to people. I really want you to consider this. If your goal is to blow up and be the next anything, you better understand that the things you're doing now can completely destroy everything you're trying to do in the future. So you should move a little bit differently. You do have talent. I would never try to take that from somebody. You do have talent. But what my pastor used to always say to me is talent will take you to a place where character can't keep you. So if you have bad character, you will not last even though you're talented. So you should work on your character because you are talented. And if you want to go far, please work on your character. Now, you have an opportunity to do so every time you turn that camera on, but it seems that you're failing. Even while you were reviewing my video, you kept saying, I'm trying not to insult his wives. I'm trying not to do this, but you can't control yourself. That means you have no self-control. And guys, if it helps you, take this advice here. When someone continuously disrespects you, don't take it personally. Because some of you guys don't like being disrespected, so you respond to disrespect with anger and frustration, right? You lash out. But please understand this. A person who is completely disrespecting everybody around them, they have no self-respect. Because a person with self-respect would monitor how they speak to people. They would monitor how they act and talk to people. So she has no self-respect, and that's why she can say some of the things that she says, and it won't bother her at all. Do you understand? If someone's capable of doing these things to people, they have no self-respect, no dignity, no integrity amongst themselves. So if you take that and go, they disrespected me, you're actually looking at that incorrectly. They're actually disrespecting themselves. Does that make any sense? Because I have self-respect, I'll never call my wives out of their name. I'll never do some of the things that you guys have done. You know, did I have any self-respect whenever I lashed out? I did. But I felt disrespected is why I lashed out. If I knew this person wasn't disrespecting me, but was actually disrespecting themselves when they called my wives bitches 20 times, okay? When they try to talk about how we have sex, these things disrespected me, so I called her back what she called me. But I respect myself, so this is not a natural response from me. Does this make any sense, family? If I continue to do this and go around calling women bees when I got mad at them, you could say he has no self-respect. It's not that he don't respect women. He has no self-respect for himself. So the women that I call those names shouldn't even listen to me. I have no self-respect. You telling me I'm doing you wrong or I'm being out of pocket is not going to matter to me because I have no self-respect. Does that make any sense? You can't hold a person accountable who doesn't have respect for themselves. Do you understand? So keep in mind, this person is no respecter of person. This person has gotten on the platform and talked about their own mother-in-law. They said their own mother-in-law was deceitful and manipulative around a cataract surgery. This person has got up there and talked about her own children. This person has got up there and talked about her own husband. How do we know he has a head injury? How do we know that that she threw his cake in the trash? How do we know these things, family? Because this person has got up there and told those things themselves. And most recently, he has an average penis. Yo, when this person gets in front of that camera, they lose it all. And for them to get attention, they'll put anybody, they'll throw anybody out there. Now, this person says, I warn my family, I talk to them. If you see my pictures or your pictures out, just know that people are just trying to hurt y'all feelings because they mad at me for telling the truth. No, what you're not telling your people is people are probably going to talk about you. And you're probably going to see your images up because I talk about other people's family members and I post their family members' images up and I talk about their parents, whether they dead or not, their children or whatever the case may be. And this is why people may do that to y'all. You're not saying that. You're lying to these people. But anyway, enough with you. I'm going to hold off because, like I said, it's not really worth my time because her character itself is already diminished, family. So that being said, check out my next video on this subject. It'll be part 2 of my review with Tasha K. And I'm only doing this because I think that a lot of families can benefit from this. And if I can do this without reviewing the Tasha K video, because I don't want people to be thinking I'm just up here talking about my brother and his ex's situation, when you can talk about marriage and relationships without speaking about them. It is true that there's hidden gems all throughout this whole thing. And if a person could sit and talk about these things non-biasedly and bring light to them, you could actually help a lot of couples because there's a lot of couples that go through some of the things that they've went through. Okay, I've said in this saga plenty of times, I don't think any one of them is inherently a bad person. I think that they have responded, not the best in situations, and if they're willing to learn from that, they can all be better, and so could you in your own families. So if you've seen them go through things that you have suffered from in your own life, it's something you can learn from, family. That's all. But anyway, that being said, I ain't gonna talk anymore because people say I like to talk anyway, even though people do 4-hour lives where they be talking the whole time. What's up, baby? I had a few super chats. They're not showing up to me. Can you show them to me? Okay. Thank you so much, baby gal Libra. Thank you so much, Tabby. Said you preaching today, brother. I think Libra said they're not gonna like this one. Thank you so much, Fenson. It says she is a hypocrite and it's sad. Thank you so much, Kimberly Williams. She says, preach, Kevin. You know I'm doing my best. If anybody did it before, I apologize. I didn't see your super chat, but thank you so much. But guys, you do know super chats are good, but they take a lot of that. If you want to contribute to what I'm doing, you can always go $Rise InReach Center, and in that way you can contribute to what I'm doing. But again, what would really be beneficial is if you guys go to Amazon, buy one of my books where I speak on many subjects like this. You could type in Kevin Wesley books.com, I think, and it'll just, all of it will just come up. Or you can go to Amazon and type in books by Kevin Wesley, and they should appear from there as well. And also I have a few events. I have a meet and greet, 3-day retreat, couples retreat, where I think I got 5 more rooms available if nobody's purchased since I've been up here, where we're going to be staying in the same home for 3 days. Okay. We're going to be doing activities, workshops, role playing, and things like that to grow and be more effective in communication. And my guarantee is when you guys go back home, you're going to be better communicators. Your life is going to be less frustrating. So if you really want a healthy relationship and you're willing to invest in it, come to my 3-day retreat, family. All right. And that's all. I appreciate you guys' time. I look forward to having this type of build with y'all again. Okay, family. And it seems that all of you guys that don't want me to listen to it, it seems that more people are listening when they think I'm talking about it. So you're kind of being hypocritical here. So the next time I'll try and present this without Tasha K's video. Okay. And I expect the same turnout. Okay. I love y'all. Tag somebody in this, share this information, help this get out, family, if you support me in any way. And I will be greatly appreciative of it because that's the greatest way to support me is to like, share, follow, comment. All right. Peace to you all, and I'll see y'all soon. All right now. Rise, everybody. Rise, rise, rise. I see the $49. I forget what you call it on YouTube, but thank you so much. Who was that? Kings. Tabby, thank you so much. Says you preaching today, brother. Thank you for the 50 bones. That is dope. And then I saw another one here. Kimberly Williams, $2 on YouTube. Thank you so much. See if I can go up. Let's see. There's another one here. Fenton. Maybe I did read these. It's a hypocrite and it's sad. Maybe I did read some of these, but Tabby hooked it up. Dang, that's amazing. Let's see here. Peace, Amber, Alexis, Chatty, all y'all up in here. Ashley, oh, that's dope. I didn't see y'all on YouTube, but man, I really appreciate y'all support and watching this, family. That means a hell of a lot to me. Trust me, we was all in the trenches together, and so it definitely means a lot for you guys to come and hear what I have to say on this subject. I haven't spoken on it in so long, and if you guys are definitely welcome to talk about it on your own platforms too. I'll be in the bushes listening, of course. I'm gonna speak up this time. I'm gonna speak up and say, "What's up, family?" Because often I still listen to all of you, but I just don't say anything because I know I'm gonna be criticized and said I'm jumping from panel to panel. So I just decided to get out of it totally, right? But anyway, if you guys want to use anything that I have said today, any clips or whatsoever, you're welcome to them. Okay, I'm still scrolling up because I just want to see if anybody has Actually, let me do this. Let me I'll see here. I'm gonna highlight some things real quick. When you both have agreed on a separation, you are free to do whatever until you are legally divorced, in my opinion. Thank you. That's what I believe. They said I was a serial cheater, though. But you got to think, if you want to apply that philosophy to me, then hey, anyone who does that would have to be a serial cheater, correct? Just trying to understand that. As a certified astrologer, I know Pluto is nothing to play with. I do not dole my whole haphazardly. Ratchet rap songs be damned.
I was like, and they gotta understand, we were separated for a while.
Yeah, we were for 5 years.
So
for 5 years.
Like you just jumped out the window and started.
Right, I did. Actually, the first 2 years I didn't. I healed back from stomach cancer, stomach surgery. I didn't have stomach cancer, but when I healed back from that, I was on bed rest for a year. So I got out there and started wilding. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and wild with you because I've already said to you that we separate. And that will create a misunderstanding, a confusion. You see what I'm saying?
And also, that was something we agreed on when we got married.
Absolutely.
We said if anything were to happen and we decided, we don't want to do this, then we'll speak up. So we already made those rules when we was young.
Absolutely.
So it's like, people.
Well, they're gonna speak negatively because they see me in a negative light. So when people don't like it, they always see things the worst way. Right. He was openly dating before their conversations, and she stated that she wanted to get married because she didn't want to play house, and he obliged, thinking he had a real solid one. Now, he could have used his past relationship to say, nah, man, the last woman I let move in with me within a month, she was already cheating on me. So, yeah, you're going to have to move in for a while and show me you can be loyal. I ain't about to just marry you like that, but he didn't let his past haunt him. He went into this with good faith, meaning that even though he had a bad past experience, he was going to put that to the side and compartmentalize and say, you know what, I'm gonna treat you based on how you, not anybody else. I'm gonna treat you based on you. I'm gonna have good faith, and that's what he did. So if a person's doing that, you don't have a right to bring in your past either. Lord, looking at these types of men, I want to kiss my husband's feet when he comes home from work. That's gratitude. When you look at people's lives and say, damn, my wife don't treat me like that. My husband don't treat me like that. Let me go love on my spouse because of all the things they could be doing wrong to me. This is what I mean by you should be grateful. If a person ain't putting you through it, ruining your damn life. I done kissed on my wife several times during this saga. Like, thank you for not doing that shit to me. Peace, Ashley D. I don't know what you said. Yeah, it is too, but I must have said something that you agreed with. But now I just really want to thank you, man. So shout out to these are the people who I can see really quickly who has contributed. Shout out to Lou Pop. Shout out to Ashley D. Shout out to Alexis. Follow these people, family, if you don't know who they are. Guys, put your if you're still here, put your channels and stuff in the comments. Chatty Kathy. Shout out to Chatty Kathy. Shout out to Terry Dow. This is one of the most supportive followers that I have. And I think that Terry Dow is probably many of you guys' most supportive follower too. I see this man. He go hard, bro. If every supporter was like Terry Dow, I wouldn't have a problem in the world. I wouldn't have a problem in the world, family. Lady Love, thank you so much. She's been here for so long and been a supporter for so many years. Thank you so much. Tabby said, Kevin, man, bro, you preach. And I really appreciate that, Tabby. Means a lot. Let's see who else in here that I know. Hazel Eyes. I think I'm familiar with Hazel Eyes too. Shout out to Hazel Eyes. Let's see here. Who else I know? And I'm strictly looking for people who has contributed to this saga by creating platforms or even by just communicating on other people's platforms. Let's see. Do I see anybody else? And if I scroll up far enough, D Ham, thank you, King. He said, you speaking facts, brother. Thank you, King. Let's see here. Let's see here. Chatty said, boom. I'm looking. If y'all still here, go ahead and put it in the comments right now that y'all were here so I can give y'all a shout out real quick because I'm kind of scrolling through and I don't see, I'm probably missing some. So let me go to the bottom here. I don't see, maybe you guys have already left, but just let me know if you guys type it in here if you was in here or if any one of you guys listening, if you know of any other content creator that was in here, type their names in for me. I'm scrolling up again to see if I see anybody, but if not, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, family. I gotta definitely start my day. Somebody said, you look just like your brother when you did that. Whatever it was I did, I believe you because I hear that all the time. Mo the GOAT, I see you in here. What's up, King? Even though Mo be being hard on me, especially that day I said I was a Cowboy fan, that man went in. The thing is, if you're a smaller person, knowing he's the bigger person and still proceeded in engaging in physical harm, they likely brought it on themselves. That's a fact. If I walk up to somebody who way bigger than me and hit him, I can't tell that man, wait, I'm smaller than you, don't hit me back. That's bullying in and of itself. That done flip the world upside down, where smaller people can pick on big people because they small. That's crazy, yo. No one deserves anybody's disrespect or mistreatment. Keep your hands, feet, and other objects and words to your damn self, because you might get hands, feet, and other objects and words put on your ass. And if you're going to sit here and play the victim, you the dumb one. That's crazy as hell. You just punched the damn rock and got mad because your hand was broke. Ain't nobody listening to that bullshit. You can cry all you want to. You shouldn't have punched that damn rock. Lady Love says, Kevin, you and Toya are justified in defending your brother. These folks have family dysfunction and don't know love from family riding for them. They don't. They don't. And the people who criticize us for standing up for our brother are standing up for somebody that they don't even know, yo. So it's like, damn, I'd like to think if she was your sister, you go even harder. But nah, you wouldn't. You'd mind your business if she's your sister. But if she's just somebody you saw on social media, you know, you would risk your own character and platform to sit here and have this lady's back. That's crazy as hell. Thank you so much, Latessa Russell. She said, stay up, Kevin family. I sure will, love. And guys, just keep in mind, I'm going to be going live about other subjects on my channels and platforms. So hopefully you guys can come and give me a listen even then and show me some support. And we'll go from there, family. I'm going to go back to the bottom real quick just to see if anybody has said who I was listening. Nobody has stated anybody else, so maybe I didn't miss nobody. And the real Candace, you better chill. You better chill. Oh, I did get a sub though, so I ain't mad at you. Thank you. But the Cowboys do not. So who you like? Matter of fact, since you're gonna say who the Cowboys suck, you know, we do be going like 12-3 every year. I don't think that is sucking. Y'all just try to clown us because we might lose in the playoffs. But whoever don't win the Super Bowl lost in the playoffs, right? But y'all only do this to the Cowboys. It's crazy how biased y'all are. But anyway, guys, for those of you who do super chats, just know that it's more effective for me to do my Cash App. So $Rise InReach Center is the best way to support me. And that way I actually get all of what you send, because of course YouTube and things like that take half of it. Okay. So, and again, thank you guys so much for your support in this matter. And thank you for supporting me on the platform, obviously. But until next time, family, I appreciate y'all again. Peace. TC? Heck yeah, TC. Thank you so much. And Sakina, you're definitely well known on my side. Thank you so much. I didn't see TC in there. Okay, Jamie said TC Chronicles is in the chat. Okay, look, it was right there in my face and I didn't see it. So if I didn't name you guys, I didn't see you on here. I wasn't on YouTube at first. I was on Facebook. And so I'm coming to shut down my YouTube, and I saw you guys on here. I didn't know all of you guys were on YouTube instead of Facebook. Okay. But again, thank y'all so much for y'all contributing. I want to give a shout out to Upper Echelon, even though I didn't see her on here. I feel like she's been doing great work. She's been doing great work. She has. And it was somebody else who was on my mind too. I was about to give a shout out to. Damn. See, now I gave a shout out to Up. It's gonna look bad if I can't remember who else I was gonna give a shout out to. Dang, I think Open Book. I think. You know what, man? I'm so sorry. My brain is over here farting like a motherfucker. Okay. Like you're trying to start saying names, then you can't remember no more. Now you're gonna look stupid. They're gonna be like, "Dang, you didn't call my name." Like, I hate that. It is. It's so many good ones, man. Listen, I actually appreciate all of y'all. I should have just kept it at that. But anyway, family, I'm out. And I'll see all of y'all later. Angie, thank you so much for the work that you've been doing for me. I watched your live last night, and you was actually on point with a lot of things that you were saying, lady. You have hella insight. I definitely appreciate that. I like listening to you. You should definitely do more lives. You should definitely do more content on different subjects because you actually make a lot of sense. You have a beautiful soul too. I can tell that you are full of love whenever you're expressing your points. So just keep at it. Ashley D, you know you my friend. I like to see you back up there doing your thing and tackling different topics and all that stuff. Don't be discouraged. Anything that's been done or said, you can always rise back from. I know your spirit, I know your soul, so I know you got greater in you than any of these people has ever seen. So I look forward to seeing you reveal that and living in that. All right. And I say that to a lot of you guys. I, just like you guys, have misrepresented myself and my character. And many of you guys have too. And I hate seeing y'all do it just like y'all hated seeing me do it. But the truth of the matter is we human, just like my brother and his ex-wife is human. So you would think that all of us who have represented ourselves in lower ways would be less judgmental to other people that we saw do the same. And what we would do is present our information in a way that's not so judgmental, but more so just bringing insight to a situation. Does that make sense, family? So I look forward to seeing if you guys can deliver the information in a way that people can really truly understand and get light from it. Okay. Because that would really do this saga worthwhile. It's so many gems. It's so valuable. Some of the things that they have been through as a couple, and it's going to be in vain if we as the people don't learn from it. Both of these people have moved on. Both of them are doing their own thing, but these past things that's happened is something that could be learning tools for every one of us. And if we can present them without seeming to bash them for things they've already done in the past, we can actually be a whole lot more effective when it comes to teaching. Does that make sense? But anyway, family, that's all. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.